sending that one forward. Finds Carter Lowe through the neutral zone. Lowe waits, takes the shot, kicks aside, rebound, scores! Cole Bodwin! Welcome to Slush Puppy Place in Kingston, Ontario, as we get ready for tonight's broadcast from Kingston, where the Frontenacs are home to the Barrie Colts. I'm Mike Poirier, joined alongside Gene Pereira and Josh McCann. And for this Barrie Colts team entering the final week of the regular season, they know they're likely finishing second. All it needs is one more win for the Brantford Bulldogs. That'll settle things at the top of the Eastern Conference. So no surprise, starting to see some load management when it comes to the lineup here for the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, where did the season go, Mike? I thought that camp was just opening, but no doubt. I mean, obviously for the Colts, it's it's one of the perks that come with a team that's wrapped up in position. That second place spot is guaranteed, and I think for Barrie, it's a wise decision. Give some of these guys been a long year, a long stretch. Give them a bit of a breather here. Give some of these young guys too. You know, when you're looking at a long playoff run. The Teague Vaders, the Armstrongs, the Govros, those guys, they're going to be needed probably along the way to come into the lineup and provide key minutes. So they'll get a bit of ice time here tonight.
So going through the scratches, the regulars that are going to be out of the lineup tonight, Parker Von Richter, Mason Zabeski, Brad Gardner, Gabriel Eliasson, and then Luke Govro, who's seen some time recently. So, with those players being out of the lineup here tonight, expect them to probably play tomorrow night against the Peterborough Petes, playing this back-to-back on the road. But we're seeing a player like Sementsov. He's back in the lineup, played 3 games during the World Juniors absences. So even getting a chance to see Sementsov back in the lineup, see what he's able to do, what he's learned with the Tier 2 Newmarket Hurricanes, and put that in action here tonight.
Yeah, I think he played really well too. Over that Christmas break when you had Bodwin and Hemming and Aitchison away at the World Juniors. So he gets the slot back, and Barrie fans get to see one of the players that the Colts are looking to build around over the next few seasons. So he gets back into the lineup as well tonight. So, again, I mean, the opportunity is what it's all about. He'll get some ice time tonight. I'm sure he'll get a lot of ice time here. And, for Barrie, again, there's no doubt they don't want to take the foot off the pedal as well. Kingston's still a lot to play for in this one here. They're looking to finish ahead of Niagara in the Eastern Conference standings.
And this Frontenacs team right now riding a 5-game winning streak. That included a victory over Niagara last weekend. But this could be a playoff preview. If Kingston's not able to hold on to that 6th seed and Niagara ends up passing them, we could see a rematch from last year's second-round series between the Barrie Colts and the Kingston Frontenacs. So this is an opportunity for both teams to kind of get a feel for one another if, in fact, they do meet in the opening round.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle. I mean, make no mistake, this is a really well-coached Kingston team, and, they don't take many penalties. They play well defensively. They play a system. Whoever these guys face is going to be, they're going to be for a battle. They're going to be tested. Yes, this is a Frontenacs team that's younger. They're rebuilding. They're looking at the future. But, the way that they've played over the last bit really just tells you they've been focused. I think even since the second half, they played some really good hockey over this stretch. And maybe not a team that you want to face here. And, for the Colts, they're going to face both Kingston and Niagara here before the end of the regular season. The two teams that they're possibly going to meet in the first round. But, a way to send a bit of a message in case that does happen.
And for the Barrie Colts, there was a big milestone Sunday night in that win over the Oshawa Generals. Dylan Smoskowitz, in his first year as head coach, becoming the winningest with 45 with that victory over the Oshawa Generals. And for Dylan Smoskowitz, he's pretty humble. He doesn't usually like to talk about himself. He's usually a guy that likes to talk about the team aspect. But for him, that's quite the accomplishment. And yes, it's a league record since 2000. But when you look at the Barrie Colts organization, he's also the winningest in franchise history for a first-tier coach.
Yeah, that says a lot. I mean, they've had a lot of good years over, since stepping into the league as an expansion club. And, for Dylan, too, one thing you really notice with this team, the players love him.
Yeah.
And, you could just really see that, every time you talk to them, they've bought in. They've bought into the system. That's the reason why Barrie's played so well this year. A lot of that is Dylan Smoskowitz, the coaching staff, but, he's just such a positive guy too, when you talk to him and And look, the way it started, I remember that 6-game losing skid, and what a way to start your OHL career early on. They had lost those 6 games, and they come right back, win 7 in a row, and he didn't waver. There was still the positive after every game. You talked to him, he was positive. We're gonna get out of this. We're playing well, and I think that rubs off the players. You see it, and they love him. You saw how happy they were for him with the video the club put out there about the celebration for Dylan, and it's been quite a run, and they're all pretty excited about trying to make this season go a little bit longer.
And it's got to be fitting too, because he used to play for the Oshawa Generals when he wrapped up his OHL career. So winning at the Tributes Community Center must have been pretty special for him. But talking about Dylan Smoskowitz, let's go to our conversation with the Coach's Corner, presented by Mariposa School of Skating. Catching up with head coach Dylan Smoskowitz, and I know you don't usually like talking about yourself, but on Sunday, the milestone, 45 wins, the most for a first-year coach since 2000. What were your emotions after that one? I noticed you got the Gatorade shower, but how are you feeling after that win?
Besides being cold, because I was cold going into the room after the game and the Gatorade was ice cold, just very grateful, to the organization, to Marty Williamson for entrusting me with being behind the bench for the team this year. Grateful to Howie Campbell and trusting Marty's confidence in me, and himself showing confidence in me, and then grateful to my staff. Like I said, it's one thing to be the guy behind there, but none of this is possible, and the team isn't where we are today without Dennis Martindale and Patrick Sexton and Connor Catterat and Dave Belitsky. Like, these guys, the amount of work they put in, and the amount of help that they give me. I tell them 90% of the time I have no idea what I'm doing, and these guys make me look pretty smart. So just a lot of grateful emotion.
And you were telling me just before this, you had to send that suit back to the dry cleaner after you just got it dry cleaned.
Oh, it pissed me off so bad. I had to send it back to the dry cleaner. I couldn't wear it today. I like wearing the same suit after we win games, so I have no idea what's going to happen tonight. And if we do lose, I'm blaming it on the suit.
Okay, I will keep an eye on that. And today, obviously, some load management, getting ready for the playoffs. So a bit of a different look up front for your group.
Yeah, some load management, but at the same time, some guys are going to be elevated with elevated minutes, elevated roles, which is going to be a common theme in the playoffs. You're going to have to rely on guys. Guys are going to have to fill in, and it's that next man up mentality. So I think it's a good test for us today, and we also want to start playing playoff hockey. So just because guys are sitting out, we won't expect any less in terms of intensity, in terms of sticking to our structure, in terms of our defensive mindset. We expect to play a perfect game tonight, no matter who's in the lineup. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys got.
And now when you're looking at the opponent, Kingston, a possible first-round matchup, does that factor into any preparations for today?
Not really. I don't. I think whoever we were playing tonight, we just wanted to have a solid game. Again, it's at this point of the season, it's not about the points. It's about having good showings, and we didn't love our showing last game in Oshawa. I thought Saturday night against Sudbury was pretty good. Like, clean up a little bit, especially at the start of that second period there. I didn't like anything other than the fact that we won the game against Oshawa. So pretty big response game for our group today, and to show kind of everyone, not outside the team, but just within the group, that we're gearing up for playoffs, and we're going to play the proper way, and we're going to have each other's backs. So I'm looking forward to them rising to the challenge tonight.
So that was Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz, and he mentioned it there. He wasn't too happy with the game on Sunday against the Oshawa Generals. Yes, they got the win, they got the 2 points, but that was a game that kind of got ugly, and it was primarily the Oshawa Generals that controlled most of that game.
Yeah, look, it's always tough the last week, especially when you got that position wrapped up, and motivation. These guys they're always playing, but a lot of it is, hey, you play for pride, and you don't want to, you hear it from Dylan Smoskowitz, you don't want to get into those bad habits, you don't want to take the foot off the pedal, and his thing keeps saying it's not like a switch, we can just turn it on and off, and he wants it down. And Barrie came back, that big comeback with 5 minutes remaining against Oshawa, but I think you want that more consistent effort, and they got 3 games here to kind of finish on a strong note.
And some big news yesterday for Barrie Colt fans. Kayshawn Aitchison has signed his NHL entry-level contract with the New York Islanders. We even saw Islander fans here in attendance welcoming Kayshawn Aitchison. It's quite an exciting moment for any junior hockey player to sign that first contract, and what a season and what a junior career it's been for Kayshawn.
Yeah, you think his teammates are hitting him up for some extra cash? Hey, you got a few bucks you can lend you?
Exactly.
But no doubt. Well earned. what are the last couple of years this guy's had? He went through his draft year last year and, gets taken 17th overall, the NHL dreams. And, we've seen his development. Then he comes into this year and all sorts of franchise records, plays for the World Junior team, helps Canada win the bronze medal at the World Juniors. And now he gets to sign that pro contract. And it's well earned. I mean, he's a character guy in the room. And, another thing that he's added that C to that jersey. And you can see it when you talk to him. He's taken that role. He knows what that means. He's got to be a leader. And, he was always one of those leaders, but he's really stepped up in that department as well. But, I'm happy for him. And look, I mean, now you can kind of put that aside, get back to focusing what's happening on the ice. And, look, it's always in the back of your mind, right? You want to get that deal done and he gets it, but, certainly well deserved.
Well, it's going to be interesting, too, going into next year because we're already hearing talks about the NHL and the CHL changing the agreement where an NHL team can have one 19-year-old player in the American Hockey League. That still has to be finalized, but you look at a guy like Kayshawn Aitchison, is he ready for the National Hockey League jump, or will he be more of a fit in the American Hockey League when the Bridgeport Islanders end up moving to Hamilton?
Yeah, that's up to, Kayshawn Aitchison and, where the Islanders, I mean, no, look, Matthew Schaefer, obviously a special talent, able to kind of step right in there. But, with what they're building, like, I mean, a lot of fantastic young prospects in New York. And I think Aitchison is definitely one of those guys. But it'll be interesting. I think, they want to see, that step from this year's camp. And, it was clear that, another year was going to suit him back well in junior. But, getting in next year, it's going to be really interesting. But look, we've seen a Kayshawn Aitchison game in and game out, what he brings, that competitive fire. And that he's going to do everything he can to be in Long Island next year.
Well, I think that Islanders team is setting up for the future quite well. And you've got former Erie Otter Matthew Schaefer already in the big show. And you got Kayshawn Aitchison on the way. That's is going to be a solid Islanders defense going forward. But in the meantime, this Barrie Colts team trying to get ready for the postseason. Kayshawn Aitchison in the lineup tonight alongside Evan Passmore. And the Barrie Colts catching a bit of a break there. Passmore blocked a shot in that game Saturday against the Sudbury Wolves. He went to the hospital. He had negative results on the x-ray. And it's good to see that Passmore back in the lineup here tonight against Kingston.
Yeah, he was there for a couple hours. Obviously, you don't want to see, one of your top defensemen have to leave a game this late in the season. And, he got it checked out. Fortunately, the imaging was negative. And, of course, talking to Dylan Smoskowitz, Evan was ready to get right back in there in Oshawa on Sunday, but they gave him the game off, gets back in the lineup tonight, and that's great to see.
Yeah, and also Carter Lowe, we saw him in the lineup on Sunday. He's still going to be wearing the bucket. He's another one that's just itching to play. He just wants to be out there. So it's got to be hard for some of these guys being kept out of the lineup here, obviously playoffs on the horizon, because we've seen it. This Barrie Colts group, they want to play. They want to be out there. They're competitive. And that's an encouraging sign if you're a part of the management, coaching staff, and the fan base.
Yeah, I mean, look, these guys want to compete. They want to get in there every game. But you have to kind of, I agree with the coaching staff here. Give these guys a bit of a breather. And, going back to Carter Lowe, as Josh McCann said, you wonder if, everybody's going to hit a cash up for a few bucks, but I think maybe Carter Lowe is going to ask for new teeth, after getting some dental work there the other night. But good to see him back in the lineup as well.
So the two teams are on the ice right now. They're going to get ready for the national anthem. So we'll take a quick break. But when we return, we'll have the first period of play between the Barrie Colts and the Kingston Frontenacs. Well, we're just about ready to go for the first period of play between the Barrie Colts and the Kingston Frontenacs. While we have a moment, let's take a look at our starting goaltenders, presented by Craighurst Crossing by Georgian Communities. New homes, minutes from North Barrie, where inspired living meets small town charm.
For the Kingston Frontenacs, Gavin Betts, the 5'11", 174-pound netminder. He gets his start, making his 42nd appearance, 2017 1-1 record, 2.82 goals against average, 906 save percentage. Betts has really wrestled away the starting job away from Matthew Minchuk. And at the other end of the ice, the veteran, Betner Rebick, 6'3", 204-pound Milton native, gets the start. He's making his 42nd appearance, 26-10, 2-3 record, 2.81 goals against average, outstanding 921 save percentage.
Our referees tonight, David Elford and Blake Beer. And on the lines, we have Mason Snell and Eric Taylor. So we're just about ready to go here for puck drop at the slush puppy place between the Colts and the Frontenacs. Jaden Newton set to take the draw here for Barrie up against Kingston's Kieran Durbin. And we are underway. Face-off won by the Frontenacs, who are wearing their black and gold uniforms, while the Colts in the whites. Puck's in the neutral zone. Right, sends it into the Barrie end. Hanser will come up with it, sends it across to Emerton. Emerton, long stretch pass, finds Newton on the wing. He'll skate this one in for Barrie, takes the shot. That's guided aside there by Betts. Puck goes to the corner. Emerton after it here for the Colts, trying to send this one back. McCormick throwing the weight around as Durbin trying to get a stick on it. Puck's kept deep in the Kingston zone. Malik McGowan back behind his own net, goes to Williamson, up the wing to right. Right will drop this one back to Alex McLean. McLean trying to go back to right. That's taken away by Desiderio, and the Colts will send it deep. Cole Baudouin chasing after it. Bishop's going to get to it first. He's taken down. Play continues. Frontenacs with it on the far side. Right, couldn't get a glove on it. Puck's in the neutral zone. Aitchison up to Hemming. He'll tip that one deep. Durbin, first one on it here for Kingston. He's going to send it around. Passmore on the far side, tried to keep it in, but the Frontenacs will get it out. Puck's bouncing. Colts get again at center. Wilmot drops it back to Baudouin. He's going to dump it in. Puck goes deep as Baudouin's taken into the boards. Henderson sends it around. Paul Bazal back to play it here for the Frontenacs. Sends it behind the net. Taken there by Baudouin. In front. That pass doesn't connect with Hemming. That puck's going to sail all the way back into the Barrie zone as Passmore will come back to collect it. Evan Passmore skating this one up. He's got a lane. Reaches center ice. Sends it on goal. And that one right into Gavin Betts. And he's going to hold on for the faceoff.
So the Colts making some scratches. Zavesky, Gardner, Elias, and Vaughn Richter, the veterans out of the lineup. That provides an opportunity for Armstrong and Vader to get in the lineup back on the point. They're that third pairing today. And Sementsov goes into that line with Edgar and Cilantro. Looking forward to seeing that combination here tonight.
Yeah, that's basically the future line for this Barrie Colts team, as Sementsov's been playing down with the Newmarket Hurricanes, who are right now heading into the second round of the OJHL playoffs. Crombie sends this one into the Kingston zone. After it is Schneid. He's tied up. Puck goes behind the net. Picked up there by Mondo. Mondo passing this one up. Reaches center. Picked off by Schneid. William Schneid trying to send it across. That's picked off. Good work there by Nolan Snyder. Snyder on the wing. Takes this one in around the net. Vader keeps him to the outside. Snyder does a lap in the Barrie zone. Back to the point to Moore. Moore fans on the shot attempt. He'll send that one down to the corner. Back behind the Barrie net is Teague Vader. Vader being chased there by Snyder. He'll turn this one around. Vader up to Carter Lowe. Lowe gets this one out to center. Knocked down by Moore. Moore ahead for Snyder. Snyder on the wing. Sets up Kuzma. Kuzma's shot blocked by Vader. Bounces off the end boards, and Ben Horebic will cover it up.
State Frontenac scores that battle for sixth place in the conference with Niagara, and the Kingston win tonight. A Niagara loss against Brantford, and that would wrap that up, and that would mean Ottawa would face Kingston in the first round. And not since Kingston were the Kingston Canadians with that matchup, a first round matchup. That would be the two teams relatively close in geography.
Yeah, you have to go back to 1981. That's the last time Kingston and Ottawa met in the postseason. Talking to Jim Gilchrist, the radio voice for the Kingston Frontenacs, he said that was actually his first season calling games when Kingston and Ottawa met in the playoffs. And that was a good Canadians team that went all the way to the semifinal that year, too.
Well, Jim's only 25, right? So he's
just a young guy.
Just a young guy. It wasn't too long ago, but
Well, we actually have an interview with Jim Gilchrist coming up in the second intermission, so stay tuned for that.
Have you let him know that we're staying for the OHL draft?
I reminded him at the end of our interview.
Okay, that's good.
There is a recording of it, so. So yeah, stay tuned for that interview with Jim Gilchrist coming up in the second intermission. As the Frontenacs have it deep in their own zone, McGowan sends this one forward. Williamson on the near side. He'll peel back. He's got Edgar putting on pressure. Williamson sends it forward. Hanser kicks it up. Taken there by McLean. That's center ice right. His pass picked off by Hemming. Hemming's going to dump this one deep into the Kingston zone. Back after it, here's Malik McGowan. McGowan hits the brakes, trying to get away from Wilmot. Williamson from the corner. He'll send this one up the glass. That's center. Right, trying to get a stick on it. Got by him. McLean back to right. Right fires. Misses that far side. Puck will sail out to the neutral zone. Henderson comes up with it. Had his pocket picked by Wilmot. Colts carried in. Beaudoin on the far side. Puck sent behind the Kingston net. Hemming trying to get a stick on it. He's tied up by Bishop. Bishop ends up on top of Hemming. Aitchison at the point. Sets up Beaudoin. Beaudoin riding the blue line, but can't keep it in the zone. Evan Passmore comes up with it. He's going to dump it in. Betts behind the net to play it. Betts gives it up to Bishop as both teams will make changes 4 minutes into this first period. Puck's in the neutral zone. Back behind the net. Betts. He'll send this one around. Henderson behind the goal. He'll pass this one up. Bishop up the wing. Butter trying to get a stick on it. Vader's there. Trying to send this one along. Vader gets to the blue line, no further. Desiderio was there. Puck sent deep. Betts behind his own net to play it. Kingston taking their time here. Right now, shots favoring the Barrie Colts 2-1. Haven't seen too many opportunities for either side as Frost carries this one in. He's tied up. Side of the goal. Kicked aside by Hrebeck. Nice chance there for Riley Clark. Clark gets it again. Takes the shot. Scores. He puts it through Hrebeck. Hrebeck's upset. He had Butter parked in front. But right now it is 1-0 for the Kingston Frontenacs.
Well, right now I'm on the broadcast. Gene had to make a quick emergency exit, but Frontenacs getting the opening goal less than 5 minutes into the game. And like you mentioned, Hrebeck not a big fan of all of the pressure out front. Dylan Smoskowitz, I can see on the bench, not too happy with something with his players. A good first chance to stop by Hrebeck, but Clark able to get the puck back, drives to the net. I think Armstrong may have had a bit of contact there with the Kingston player, though, and it looks like it's going to be a good goal.
Well, right now, the referee, David Elford, having a conversation with Dylan Smoskowitz. We'll have to wait and see if the Barrie Colts challenge this, maybe for goaltender interference. But we'll have to wait and see. But welcome aboard, Josh McCann.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, I noticed something going on beside me. I noticed Gene getting up and moving, and now it's Josh McCann.
Let's just say there was tacos in the media room.
Well, we'll go with that then. So anyways, 1-0 for the Frontenacs. It is a good goal. The Barrie Colts decide not to challenge. So Riley Clark with his third of the season. And an early lead here for the Frontenacs. On the far side. Pobazal. He was on his knees. Gets it back to the blue line. Puck goes in the air. Carter Lowe chasing after it. Takes a swing. Ends up back behind the Colts net. Hanser up ahead to Emerton. Cole Emerton sends this one across. Moore knocks this one ahead. Frontenacs will dump it in. Doesn't go too far as it goes off the linesman. Justin Hanser will send it across to Cole Emerton. Emerton deep in his own zone. He'll send this one ahead off the boards to Crombie. Crombie dumps it in. That puck's going to go deep back behind the Kingston net. Bishop there to collect it for the Frontenacs. Will Bishop passing this one ahead at the blue line. Salandra has got Cementsov's going to the nets, and that pass is blocked in the slots, and that shot blocked again. That was Edgar who fired it. Frontenacs trying to get it out. Kuhlman gets it out to the neutral zone, picked up by Aitchison. Evan Passmore skates this one up, trying to dump it in. He was surrounded by black sweaters. Puck will go back into the Barrie zone. Kayshawn Aitchison. He'll take this back behind his own net. We're past the 6-minute mark of the first period. 1-0 for the Kingston Frontenacs. Aitchison taking his time right now. He'll send this one forward. Gives this one to Passmore. Up the wing. Salandra trying to get a stick on it. He will, so no icing. Bats behind the net to play it. Sends it ahead to Bishop. Bishop will take the hit, skating this one out of the zone. That's Alex Kuhlman. Kuhlman, after it into the corner, deep in the Barrie zone, puts it back behind the net. Emil Hemming comes up with it for the Colts, back for Armstrong. Armstrong sends it around. Bodwin on the far side. He can't get a stick on it. Picked up by Snyder. His shot deflected, and that's going to go wide. Kuhlman after it now for the Frontenacs into the corner. Bodwin, though, gets to that loose puck. Snyder blocks it. Kuzma in front, but couldn't find Kuhlman. Colts send this one out to center. Knocked down by Williamson. Van Williamson settles it down. Now he'll just send this into the Barrie zone. That's going to go back behind the net. Horebic will leave it there for the Colts defense. Skating it forward is Ethan Armstrong. Here's Cole Bodwin on the wing through the neutral zone. Bodwin, lane to the net, takes the shot, and that's going to go wide. McLean chasing after that loose puck, reaches it at center. The former Guelph Storm drops it back to right, and that doesn't connect. McGowan, though, keeps it in the zone. He's going to skate to the net, passes over to right, back to McGowan, and that doesn't connect. Some great passing in front, but no finish for the Frontenacs. McGowan at the point. Has that poked away by Hemming into the neutral zone. Williamson up ahead. Here's McLean. McLean forced around the net by Hanser. Alex McLean does a lap in the offensive zone. His pass deflected, and that's out to center ice. Williamson puts this one off the boards. Picked up by Wright. He's going to dump it in. Horebic behind the net. Leaves it for Emerton. Drops it for Hanser. Hanser trying to get a look on it as it was in his skates. Trying to play it along the boards. Wright will find it. Goes right back into the rugby scrum. Here comes Landon Wright. Wright in the corner. Backhand pass. Trying to put that one out in front to Durbin. Durbin's taken to the boards by Hanser. Wright got a stick on it. Hanser again to Emerton. Playing in tight. Newton up to Desiderio. That's behind him. And now we'll get it out and down the ice. Mondo back to play it here as the Colts make a change. Mondo up the wing. Picked up at center by Wright. He's going to feather that one into the Barrie zone, and he'll peel off for a change. 11.5 minutes still remaining in the first period. The Frontenacs up by 1. Riley Clark, the goal scorer here for Kingston. As the Frontenacs looking to extend that winning streak to 6 games and hold off the Niagara Ice Dogs in the Eastern Conference standings as the puck goes off the end boards. After it is Schneid. Schneid chasing after in the corner. Henderson has that knocked away from him. Bishop passing that one up. Matthew Frost goes around the net, sends this one down the ice. Passmore is going to chase after it. He's got Clark on him. Passmore up the wing. That's blocked. Butter was in position there to block that pass attempt as Passmore ties up his man. Play continues. Schneid gets it back to Aitchison. He's going to skate it back behind his own goal. Aitchison back behind the net, waiting for the line change ahead, as the Colts will get some fresh players out on the ice. Aitchison will move this one, gives it up to Teague Vader. Now Vader will park himself behind the Barrie net. Vader moving this one up. Long pass. Landry got a stick on it, so no icing. That's behind his own net. Facing some pressure there, decides to pass it to Pobazal. Pobazal to the corner for Henderson. Frontenacs will move this one up through center. Henderson to Butter. Or Dever. Dever on the wing. He'll hit the brakes. Loses the handle of it. Colts taken away. That's Edgar. Up to Salandra. Joe Salandra skates this one in for the Colts, but he had his pocket picked by Williamson. And then here's a breakaway chance for Mishiak. Backhand, stop, rebound. And we're going to get a penalty shot out of this. So Alex Mishiak gets behind the defense, and he's going to be rewarded with a penalty shot here as his chance was disrupted.
Well, look at this. Gene leaves, and all the excitement comes. Now there's confusion because it's supposed to be the TV timeout, but they're getting kicked off the ice. And for Mishiak, though, he was able to sneak past Armstrong off the turnover, and Armstrong and Vader both just trying to catch up, and Armstrong holds on to him, and now Mishiak's going to get a chance here on the penalty shot.
Well, Mishiak was picked up at the OHL trade deadline from the Erie Otters. He's got that creativity to him, so we'll see what he can do this time as he picks it up at center. He's going to come in with some momentum. Mishiak on Horebic, forehand backhands by Horebic as he's able to get his mid up on that and remains a 1-0 hockey game.
Oh, nice save there by the Colts netminder to keep it at 1-0. And again, no one knows whether it's the TV timeout or not, but a shift before on that penalty for Barrie, the fourth line out there. And that fourth line, a pretty good look into the future. Alexander Sementsov, the first-round draft pick last season. Eamon Edgar, we've seen the potential he's shown this year. And then obviously Joe Salandra, who's had a great year for Barrie, getting some shelter minutes tonight, allowing some other guys like Jonah McCormick, Nick Desterio, and Jaden Newton to get some more minutes.
Well, when we saw Sementsov during that winter break there at the World Juniors, he started on that fourth line, but then Dylan Smoskowitz moved him up quickly to play on that second line and got some good ice time, even on the power play.
On the power play. And we talked about it at that point, how he looked a bit better than he did in training camp. So now a couple more months away from the team. We'll see if he's improved any more here over the next couple of games.
We'll see if he's in the lineup again tomorrow night when the Barrie Colts head down to Peterborough to take on the Petes. Right now here at Slush Puppy Place, it's a 1-0 lead for the Frontenacs. Face off to the right of Harebic. Face off won by Kingston. Malik McGowan goes to Mishiak. His shot on goal. And Harebic able to find that despite having a couple of players parked in front. He had Pobazal and Dever.
Well, Pobazal and Mishiak, both import players, and Mishiak coming over, and those two have been playing together a lot. And looks like they'll be a duo moving forward for Troy Mann to work with. And there's some good talent on this Kingston team. You look at Kuhlman, McLean, Matthew Henderson on the back end, some guys that haven't shown their full potential yet, but going forward, they're going to make the Frontenacs look like a pretty solid team in the future.
And remember, they also did the trade-off with Battaglia to the Firebirds. McGowan goes to the net, and Harabic's going to cover that one up. This is a Frontenacs team that did sell off a bit at the OHL trade deadline, looking to the future, but you have to give a lot of credit to Troy Mann, the head coach of the Kingston Frontenacs. This team has really bought into his systems.
Considering neither of the 4-5 games would be really upsets based off points, I think of the 6 teams east and west that could be upsets, I think the Kingston Frontenacs are the favorites to pull off an upset. I mean, they don't have the most offensively gifted team yet, at least, but they play hard, they work hard, defensive zone's really strong, they're very disciplined, and they could give a team trouble in the first round. I mean, Ottawa, they've played them tough this year.
Yeah, they're the least penalized team in the OHL, 517 penalty minutes. Compare that to Barrie, who's got the second most at 882.
And that's 2 straight years for Kingston. That's not just some fluke. That's how Troy Mann has his teams play.
Frontenacs will skate this one through the neutral zone. Dever taken into the boards by Hanser. Puck goes deep. Desiderio putting it off the end boards. McCormick leans into McGowan. McCormick sends it back behind his own net. Picked up here by Justin Hanser. Hanser will send this one out. Newton couldn't get a stick on it. Williamson from his own blue line. Backhand pass to McGowan. That's center ice. Crombie trying to pick up that loose puck. Takes it away there from Dever. He's going to dump it in. McGowan back to play it here for the Frontenacs. Sends this one back behind the net for Williamson. Van Williamson skates this one forward for Kingston. Up the middle, deflected in the zone by Snyder. That's going to go to the corner, picked up by Armstrong. Ethan Armstrong had his pocket picked there by Kuhlman. Colts get it out. Crombie, he'll skate through center. Carter Lowe, though, just ahead of the play, and that's going to be offside with 8:33 to go in the first.
Calvin Crombie back in the lineup after serving his 1-game suspension, and his third line has been pretty good over the last couple of weeks. William Schneid and Carter Lowe have really seemed to found their footing finally for this team. They had a solid first half, but really down this stretch here, I think they've been playing some of their best hockey.
Face-off won by the Frontenacs. They're going to send this one down the ice. It's deflected, so no icing. Teague Vader's going to come back to play it. Vader up to Carter Lowe. Lowe looking at his options, passes this one forward. Crombie tried to get a stick on it. It's going to be picked up by Henderson. He loses it in the corner. Bishop behind his own net, takes a bump from Schneid. Those two continue to jam for it. Here's Schneid, comes out from behind the net. William Schneid leaves it there for Passmore. Evan Passmore to the net, goes around the net, stays with it, back to the blue line, Aitchison. Aitchison will put this one to the corner. Carter Lowe trying to get to it. Behind the goals, Crombie. That's poked to the corner. Calvin Crombie back to Kayshawn Aitchison. Aitchison from the high slot, waits, goes to Passmore, but that's not going to connect. Puck goes behind the net, picked up here by the Frontenacs. They're just going to flip this one out and down the ice. Passmore gets a stick on it, sends it back into the Frontenac zone. Right now, the shots heavily favoring Kingston, 8-2. As we haven't seen a lot of sustained pressure in this hockey game from the Barrie Colts. Up the wing, here's Wright. Landon Wright drops this one back. Picked up by McLean, and his pass is off target. Williamson wants Betts to come out of his net to play it, but Williamson being chased there by Cole Baudouin into the slot, but that pass doesn't connect. McLean up to Wright. Landon Wright goes back to McLean. His pass is disrupted. Durbin follows it up. At the point, Williamson, and that shot's going to go over the net. Cole Emerton after it in a battle there with McLean, dropping it back to Cole Beaudoin. Beaudoin passing this one forward, finds Emil Hemming. Hemming at center. He'll flip this one forward. Wilmot trying to catch up to it. Wilmot to the net. That's out of the reach of Hemming. Colts keep this one deep in the Kingston zone, but Wilmot has to chase after it. McGowan ahead. That pass taken away by Beaudoin. Beaudoin to Hemming. Hemming has it in front. Tucks it around. What a save by Betts. As it looked like Beaudoin put it off the post. That's the best chance of the game so far from the Barrie Colts, but what a save by Gavin Betts.
Hemming at the initial look, but then Betts was already down when he made that save, and then Beaudoin came through, was able to knock that puck free, and looked like he was going to get a good look there, but Betts somehow extending that glove to make a beautiful save and keep this game tied at 1. Barrie looking at some more pressure outside their top line. There hasn't been much going so far.
So we'll get this face-off now to the left of Betts. Edgar is going to take the draw up against Matthew Frost. Won by the Frontenacs. Butter in the corner. Takes a bump there from Salandra. In front to Edgar. Up the middle. His shot got too much under it. Puck's at the side of the net. Edgar trying to get a stick on it. There's Sementsov. Sementsov after it. Puck goes around the boards. Kayshawn Aitchison after it. Back to Edgar. To the point. But that pass is off target. That's going to sail down the ice. Hrebeck out of his net. He'll leave it there for Evan Passmore. Down to just 6 minutes remaining in this first period. Colts with possession. It's Kayshawn Aitchison coming out from his net. Sementsov sends this one into the zone. Back to play it here for Kingston is Mondo. Andre Mondo sending this one up to Clark. Clark bumped off the puck, but Butter follows it up. He's got a teammate going to the net. Butter's shot stopped by Hrebeck. What a shot there from Butter, but Colts get this one out to center. Sementsov dumps it in. Won't be an icing, so the Frontenacs have to come back to play it. Andre Mondo back behind his own net. He's going to take his time as the Frontenacs complete a line change. Mondo to Moore. Moore sends this one forward. That's tipped into the Barrie zone. Vader after it for the Colts. Teague Vader sending this one around. That's picked off. Vader, though, gets it right back. He'll go back behind the net. Up the wing. Finds Carter Lowe. Lowe skates through the neutral zone here for the Colts. Lowe getting around Henderson in front to Schneid. That was in too tight. Puck goes to the corner at the blue line. Hands her across, but that's going to go to an open wing, and Thomas Paulbazal will skate it out. Paulbazal through center. It's got Carter Lowe on him. Stays with it, though, to the net. And Hrebeck able to cover it up as we're getting some end-to-end action, but still, shots only 9-3 right now in favor of Kingston.
Yeah, for the Colts, got to be a bit better in their own zone. They've let a couple guys get to the net here, and it's allowed Kingston to get some chances. I saw now on Paulbazal just kind of worked through the defense there. Barrie was a bit weak on their back end, and Paulbazal took advantage.
Yeah, Thomas Paulbazal right now sitting on 13 goals, 22 assists for 39 points. He's been a crafty one for this team since coming over. He was acquired in that trade from the Kitchener Rangers in the offseason, but he's fit in quite nicely with this team.
Yeah, he's done a solid job. And I can mention Mishiak over as well from the Erie Otters, a couple of guys that Troy Mann's going to be able to work with going into next season. As said, this Frontenacs team, they got some pieces in place. They're maybe not showing their true potential yet, but next year, add a couple other pieces with some draft picks, and maybe they're a team that starts moving forward.
So we'll get this face-off now to the right of Ben Hrebeck. As Paulbazal still out there for Kingston. He's going to take the face-off against William Schneid. 4:57 left to go here in this first period. 1-0 for the Frontenacs. Face-off won by the Colts. Hands are up ahead to Lowe. Carter Lowe skates this one out. Across. Getting a stick on it there. Is picked up by Lowe again. Lowe at center ice. He's going to dump it in. Frontenacs chasing back after it. Betts comes out of his net to play it. Sends it around. Emerton kicks it ahead to Schneid. Schneid down behind the net for Crombie. Crombie's tied up. Henderson will pick it up. Here is Dever. Sends this one across. Mishiak lost the handle of it. Poked away there by Emerton. Mishiak trying to recover. Wilmot will send it into the Frontenac zone. Bishop over to Henderson. Back to Bishop. Colts right now completing a line change. Mishiak on the near wing. Sends this one forward. Paulbazal trying to get a stick on it. Knocked away by Hanser. Aitchison His pass blocked by Mishiak, but he follows it up across to Hemming. Emil Hemming skates this one in for Barrie. Inside the line, sends it to the corner. Beaudoin will give chase, continues it along the boards. Wilmot in the near corner. He takes a bump. Puck comes to the point, but Aitchison can't keep it in. Dervin gets to the puck first here for the Frontenacs. Sends it across to McGowan, but he was tied up by Aitchison. Colts get it out. Beaudoin up to Wilmot. Ben Wilmot on the wing. Over to Hemming. One-timer scores! Emil Hemming finds the back of the net and a great saucer pass by Ben Wilmot. And this game is tied at 1.
Well, what a play by Ben Wilmot. The Colts had numbers coming into the zone. It was a 2-on-1 with a couple of players right behind, but the only issue was that Wilmot and Hemming run opposite ends, both against the boards, but Wilmot, what a pass, floats it across to Hemming. One-timers at home, able to get it past Betts. Hemming's had some great looks the last couple of games. You think of that game against Ottawa last week, he had about 10 chances to beat Ryder Fedorov and kept getting robbed, but there he's able to find the back of the net. Goals in back-to-back games for Hemming to tie the game at 1.
So the response the Barrie Colts were looking for comes late here in the first period. Emil Hemming now with 26 goals on the season. Puck's going to go deep into the Kingston zone. McCormick ties up more. McCormick trying to get this loose puck. Desiderio misses it. Kuhlman skates it out for the Frontenacs. Backhand pass knocked away by the Colts. Aitchison dropping this to the line. Moore can't keep it in. Back to play here for the Frontenacs is Mondo. He'll send it across to Moore. Moore up to Kuhlman. Alex Kuhlman enters the zone. He'll send it deep. Trying to get to it first. That goes wide to the net. Snyder sending this one around. There's a one-timer Mondo, but that's stopped by Horevic. Puck goes to the corner. Aitchison trying to get a stick on it. Here's McCormick to continue to jam for it. 2:50 left to go in the first period. We're tied at 1. Passmore sends it ahead to Newton. Jaden Newton can't get it out of the zone. Here's Kuhlman. He's stood up by McCormick. And Newton's going to get this one down the ice. Won't be enough for icing. Colts will make a line change here as Lucas Moore sends it up the wing. That's deflected into the zone. Snyder after it here for the Frontenacs, taken away by the Barrie Colts. Battle for it. Kuhlman back to the blue line. Williamson keeps it in. Van Williamson comes off the point. Nice move there. Takes it down low. Hanser ties him up. Taken into the boards. Williamson back to the line for Kuhlman. Kuhlman has that knocked away by Wilmot, and that's going to escape the zone. Kuzma skates it in now for the Frontenacs. Here is Snyder stuck between his legs. Armstrong's going to take him into the boards. Cole Beaudoin. He'll peel out and skates it ahead here for the Colts. Beaudoin reaches center ice. He'll stay with it. Goes to Hemming. Back across to Hanser. That's going to stay in play. Hanser wide of the net. Beaudoin behind the goal. Cole Beaudoin in a battle with McGowan. Puck goes to the corner. McGowan will throw a hit there on Beaudoin. Along the boards, Clark collects it. He can't get it out. Blocked by Wilmot. Clark still trying to jam it across the line. Now it's carried out. Matthew Frost on the wing. Frost will send this one deep. Chasing after here is Butter. Butter behind the net. And that's going to be knocked to the corner. Clark comes up with it for the Frontenacs. Being chased there by Sementsov. Clark staying with it here for the Frontenacs. Spinning around in the corner. Gets some room. Clark takes a bump from Sementsov. Puck's going to go back behind the Barrie net. There's Butter. Butter takes a hit from Hanser. Clark tied up by Sementsov. Frontenacs get it back to the blue line. Henderson keeps it in. Puck goes behind the net. Picked up by Teague Vader. Vader gets it into the corner, and we're going to see him flip this one down the ice as we're now in the final minute of the first period. Bishop sends this one ahead. Frost sends it on goal. Horevic guides that to the corner. Aitchison comes up with it. He's going to leave it there behind the net for Cole Emerton. Emerton taking his time here for the Colts. He's going to leave it there for Aitchison. We're now down to just 38 seconds left to go in the first period. Emerton sends this one ahead at center ice. Sementsov reaching for it. Bishop gets it back into the Barrie net. Emerton to Aitchison. Aitchison sends this one ahead to Eamon Edgar. Edgar's going to skate it in for the Colts. Edgar dropping it there. Salandra. Salandra on his backhand. Back to Edgar, but that's out of his reach. Nice move there for the Colts, but they can't connect. Now the Frontenacs come the other way. Mishiak, he's bumped off the puck by Salandra. Puck's in the middle. Pobazal waits, fires, misses the net. Far side, it's Lucas Moore. Moore trying to put it in front. 3 seconds remaining. Aitchison collects it, and that will do it for the first period as it's a pretty quick first period, not a lot of whistles, and also not a lot of chances, but it remains 1-1 between the Barrie Colts and the Kingston Frontenacs.
Yeah, that period just kind of flew by. For Kingston, they were definitely the better team in that period. They had some good chances, and for Barrie, all it took though is one turnover, and then back the other way. Ben Wilmot sneaks a pass across, and just like that, the game's tied. And it's one of the things about this Barrie Colts team. They've struggled the last 2 games, but they turn it on for a second, get a goal, and all of a sudden it's a tie game.
Well, they were outplayed against both Oshawa and Sudbury last weekend in that first period, and this game kind of has the same feel as to what we saw last weekend. And obviously for the Barrie Colts, the lines are a little different, so the chemistry has changed a little bit here tonight, but still, to see them come back, Emil Hemming getting that goal to tie it up shows that this team, they're not just rolling over and just wanting to cruise through this game. They're still going to compete here in this final few days.
Yeah, obviously at the end of the day, it looks like Barrie's going to get second, and this game may mean nothing in the point column in a couple of days. But like we talked about on Sunday, you want to go in with your best effort into the playoffs. You don't want to fall flat, lose the final 3 games of the season, pick up some bad habits, and start playing a bad form of hockey. So for Barrie, obviously still a lot of work to do over these next 3 games. Even if it's not for seeding, just keep playing your game. Limit the mistakes. I thought they were a bit soft in their own zone in the first period. They're going to want to try and get away from that, start playing a bit better in their own zone here tonight.
So with this being our last 3 road broadcasts of the regular season, we decided we wanted to save the interviews for the overage players. On Sunday night, you had the chance to catch up with Mason Zabeski, and tonight it's Calvin Crombie. And thankfully, Crombie was able to play here tonight because he was suspended on Sunday's games. He was unable to play. And then Brad Gardner, a healthy scratch here tonight. So that really left us with Calvin Crombie. But for Calvin Crombie, picked up there before the regular season from the Brantford Bulldogs because of numbers. But man, oh man, has he come as advertised and then some this year?
Oh yeah, I remember when the Colts first acquired him. When you look in the box score at the stat sheet, it's kind of like, okay, all right, solid. But then you go online and you're looking at all the posts the Bulldogs made about the trade, and every single fan is upset that he's gone because of the way he plays. He plays with a ton of heart. He plays a very physical form of game, gets into the scrappy corners. He's an emotional player, stuff like that every fan loves, and it's something you need on a team. And he's really brought that to the Barrie Colts this season. He's even improved on his offensive numbers, having a career-high year in both goals and points this year as a Barrie Colt. And got the chance to talk to him before the game. I'm sure he loved that with no voice going, it seemed like right now, but he was able to squeak through. And yeah, hopefully we can talk to Brad Gardner tomorrow. I did see him earlier today. So
he's on the trip.
So even if he's out of the lineup, we'll try and finagle some things to make sure we can talk to Brad one more time.
Yeah, we'll definitely get Brad Gardner tomorrow in Peterborough. But here is Josh McCann's interview pregame with Barrie Colts overage forward Calvin Crombie.
Joined by Colts forward Calvin Crombie. Calvin, obviously you were in the lineup against Oshawa, but from an outside perspective, how'd you feel about the way the team played?
Yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, we got the win. Not our strongest effort, that's for sure. I mean, the guys know that. But good teams dig deep. So, I mean, we dug deep. We got the win. Sunday games are hard, especially after coming off a few game stretch. So, I mean, good teams win, and we found a way to win. So, I mean, that's a positive, and that's a good takeaway.
Now, for you guys, you got 3 games to go. Top 2 spot is already clinched for the team. Starting to rest some guys tonight. What's your mindset here through the final 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just focused on, playing the same way that we have been all year. I mean, maintaining good habits and, not changing anything up. What we've been doing all year has been working. We're ranked top 5 in the CHL. We've been ranked in the CHL. And, at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter. It's what comes down to playoffs. So, I mean, not changing anything and playing the way we've been playing. So that's been working.
Now we're talking to all the overagers this week. For you, first year in Barrie, what's the experience been like this season?
Yeah, it's been unreal. I mean, to be an overager in this league, it's it's a great exception, and to be one in Barrie, it's been unreal. Barrie's been very fun for me and taking very good care of me. I mean, I've had a great time here. I love the guys. I love the coaches, and I have no complaints.
What about the prior years in Brantford? What were those experiences like breaking into the OHL?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously your first year is tough in the league. I mean, I had great teammates and I had great coaches there as well. I mean, I had no complaints there. They took me under their wing, some of those guys, and they showed me kind of the ropes to lead here and show the younger guys how it's done.
What are some of the lessons you've learned over the years that you've been able to bring into this season as one of the Colts' biggest leaders?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long season. At the end of the day, it comes down to playoffs. You got to preserve yourself and you got to maintain, mental health and your body as well. So, I mean, it's a long season of 68 games, and that's not even including playoffs. So, you take it one day at a time, and every day's a new day. You just got to reset and move on to the next game.
And for you, what are your future plans past this season?
Yeah, so I'm committed to Robert Morris next year, and then we'll take it from there, see what happens from there.
What was the experience like getting to know the university there and getting that signed?
Yeah, no, I mean, I talked to a few NCAA schools, and, Robert Morris is the best fit for me. I really like their coaching staff there, and, I like the way things are shaping up there. I know a few guys from around the league are going there as well, so I've had a few talks with them, and we're all really excited.
Welcome back to Slush Puppy Place in Kingston, where it's the Frontenacs and the Barrie Colts in the first intermission, tied at 1 apiece. Riley Clark opened the scoring for the Barrie Colts, and then Emil Hemming tying it up at 1. So we do have the chat up and running, so if you want to take part in the conversation, head on over to the chat. So you can put up your comments or any questions or anything you want to discuss, and we'll get to that momentarily. But first, scoreboard watching continues as it's a pretty busy Wednesday night around the Ontario Hockey League.
6 other games in action, including the normal 3 p.m. on a Wednesday game in Ottawa. The 67s taking on the Generals. It was all Ottawa in that one. Oshawa had 6 shots through 2 periods. Ottawa had 6 goals, winning that game 6-1. London and Guelph got started a bit early at 6:30. No score in that one in the second period. Obviously, a lot of drama there because Quinn Beauchene's back in the lineup tonight. Brantford and Niagara, a big game to watch for Colts fans. That game is tied at 1. If Brantford wins, the Bulldogs have clinched the first seed in the conference. If Niagara loses and Kingston wins, I do believe that guarantees Barrie Niagara round 1. Flint and Owen Sound 1-0 for the Firebirds late in the first period. Darian Anderson with a power play goal. Sioux and Saginaw in action. That game tied at 1 after the first period. Erie and Sarnia in the Western Conference Toilet Bowl. No score in the first period between those two teams.
Erie right now, are they on a 12 or
12
game losing streak
and
now?
They've kind of got themselves back in the picture for that first overall pick. They're 2 points ahead, but Oshawa has the tiebreaker. So if the two teams were tied, Oshawa would move ahead. Both teams do have a tough finish to the year. Erie's schedule is a bit easier, so as long as the Generals stop playing spoiler and play more like they did today, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, so keep an eye on the draft lottery, as it's the 4 teams that missed the playoffs. They are entered into the lottery for the first overall pick. Still don't know who will be that first overall selection. Obviously, with the OHL Cup coming up, that's when we'll find out if, in fact, O'Rourke will be given exceptional status. But if he is exceptional status, you kind of wonder, will he be the one drafted here in Kingston in June as we return to that in-person draft?
Well, wouldn't it work out perfectly that there's an exceptional status guy the first year that the draft is back in person? That'd be pretty cool to see here in Kingston, and it'll be interesting to see. I mean, for Oshawa and Erie and really all the teams involved, I think they could go with either a D or a forward. So I think if he is the exceptional status player, then I'm sure that he would be drafted first overall. I don't think it would be a Sean Day situation, but if he's not drafted, if he's not an exceptional status player, it does become obviously who goes first. There are a few names out there. Remember last year was interesting. There was no set guy really. It was really just a top 5 top players. Who do you like? And for the Peterborough Petes, they like Caden McGregor, and that's worked out pretty solid for them so far.
Yeah, so it's going to be fascinating. Once the playoffs wrap up, I believe we will be seeing the OHL conducting the OHL draft lottery. So those 4 teams will be Oshawa, Erie, Brampton, and Sarnia.
They should have us do the lottery.
Wouldn't that be something? That'd be great. We're going to get to the chat now because we're about 7 minutes away from the start of the second period. I noticed at the start of the first period, Liam had the comment. He says, who is the dude the team fist bumps on the way out onto the ice? Seems to always be on away games. The bus driver?
I believe that means the bus driver. And
correct.
I want to say his name is Marcus.
I believe his name is Marcus.
We haven't been officially introduced. We've had some conversations with him, but he does have a jacket, and I believe it does say Marcus. And obviously, he's the one that has to drive all these guys around, so they do get pretty connected with him as he drives them around to all of the 34 road games in the OHL season. And yeah, shout out to the bus drivers. The teams couldn't travel without them. So yeah, we've had limited interaction with him, but so far so positive.
I think we need to do an interview with him because we if you follow social media, any of the broadcasters around the OHL, Mike Farwell with the OHL podcast refers to the bus driver as Moose.
Moose Tracks.
Moose Tracks. He has his own segment on social media. So we need to maybe get Marcus a little more onto social media. Just get to know our bus drivers a little more.
Hopefully he's okay with an ice cream nickname, but
well, we'll have to find out. We got to do the interview. So let's go on to the chats. And I'm seeing that Rono say, play nice, guys, but go Kingston. Miss my hometown. I follow Mike from the booth, and I'm glad it came up on my feed. Go France, go. Yeah, Rondo, thanks for tuning in. And it is kind of fun how we can have both Barrie Colts fans and Frontenac fans here on the broadcast, and even just seeing the chat go a little back and forth between the fan bases.
Yeah, it's always great to see. And it's been great this year as well because everyone's been very civil. There's no arguing. And obviously, if there was a bunch of arguing, we may have to change some things about the chat. But outside of one guy that's insisting on pain, the chat's been very civil this year, and it's been fun to chat with everyone on there. We've gotten to meet a couple of them as well. Adam and Richard have come up to the broadcast booth on different games. So yeah, the more interaction, the better, and the better the streams look to sponsors when there's a bunch of people commenting.
Yeah, and it's also a big help that we've had some supers over the broadcast. So even those tuning in, supporting the broadcast, and even a shout out to Richard. He said that, sorry, I'm late, busy work day at our new hotel down in Buffalo. And Richard was able to help us out with our hotel trip to Kingston this weekend. So it's just great to see how the community here of Barrie Colt fans or junior hockey fans in general coming together and even supporting broadcast as we wrap up our first official regular season tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice hotel as well. So thank you to Richard. I got a bed for once, which is very nice.
You got yourself a
I
cot.
got a little pull-out couch, and it was really comfy. I almost didn't come to the game, but yeah, we ended up here, and thank you to Richard. And yeah, we're almost done, which is crazy to say, but depending on the travel in the playoffs, this may be the last time I have to give Gene Pereira the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah, the adventures. Maybe next year, if we're doing this, we should do a behind the scenes
We'll
series.
have to do a hidden camera show, and
So Kyle actually came on here. He says the boys call him Mo. Just letting you know. So that's the bus driver. So
okay,
Mo.
okay, Mo.
So we could work something.
We
with
can work
Mo.
with Mo Money. No,
That might work. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, and then Tammy saying, will you be doing this in the playoffs too? If so, thank you. Yes, we will be going on the road for the postseason. So right now it looks like it'll be Barrie Niagara in the first round if the playoffs started today. So we would be going to the Meridian Center for those road games. So the plan is to go as far as we can with this broadcast. If the Barrie Colts go to, say, the OHL final, we do intend to cover that. And if they go to Kelowna,
I love Kelowna.
we'll have to wait and see if we can get to the Memorial Cup if the Barrie Colts go that far. But yes, Tammy, we do want to go as far as we can with this road broadcast. And, with all the support we've been having, it's been super encouraging. And I think this is something that we could keep doing.
Yeah, it's definitely something we can keep doing. And, we're hoping, obviously, as broadcasters that we get to keep going as far as possible into the playoffs. And, you mentioned Kelowna, and we'd love to get out to Kelowna, but if travel restrictions do become a thing, I'm sure we can work something out to still be involved should the Colts make it to the Memorial Cup, as they got a pretty strong squad, and it should be a pretty fun playoff run.
My thing is, I just have to balance a full-time job. And
well,
getting
Gene
time
and I
off,
can take it then if,
yeah, but you didn't know how to turn on the board today.
Okay, I missed one button. And you'd be off work by the time the games are starting, so I could call you if I have any issues.
All right. We'll do it that way. Richard asking, are you at all involved with the 9-1-1 matchup on Friday? My son and I are going, and you're doing it, aren't you?
I am doing the game solo. I'm doing play-by-play. I'm doing color. I'm doing the hosting, and
you're all of the above.
It's all of the above. I'm really excited. I got sent the roster today, and I do believe that it isn't a coincidence, but I do believe. Not sure how many years going back, many of our viewers are fans of the Barrie Colts, but involved in that game will be Luke Bignell. So
former
Barrie Colt, former captain for a while there as well. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time on Friday night. I'm happy to get the opportunity to call the game. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
And Liam saying, if we go to the finals, I'll sponsor you for the entire trip, flights and all. So Liam is now suddenly our best friend if the Barrie Colts go to the final.
I was putting on a performance for the Volunteers on Saturday, trying to convince them to give us some money for flights. I think there was a rumor that I'd have to do a Irish dance and a quilt to get our travel costs paid for. I don't really want to do that, so if someone else can
wants to
step up
sponsor
and
us.
pay, and I don't have to dance in a quilt, that'd be good with me.
So we'll have to wait and see because obviously the playoffs haven't started yet. There's a lot of hockey to go.
And, a lot of good teams to get through.
Yeah, the Eastern Conference is going to be a battle. So right now, yes, it'd be Niagara, Barrie, most likely, unless the Colts lose this one and Kingston wins or loses their next. No, Kingston would have to lose their last three games.
Yeah, Kingston needs to go like 0-3 or something.
Yeah, 0-3, and Niagara needs to go 3-0.
Yeah, sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, we are professional broadcasters.
Before the game, we were talking with everybody about all the different scenarios and whatnot, but we are getting ready now for the second period of play between the Barrie Colts and the Kingston Frontenacs. It is a 1-1 hockey game as we'll make the switch with the color commentary team. Josh McCann will step aside and Gene Pereira will step back in as we get ready for the second period. Edgar taking the draw here against Durbin, and we are back underway. Face-off won by the Colts. Emerton sends this one along the wing. Edgar will send this into the Kingston zone as Durbin turns it around. Give that one up to Salandra. Salandra, though, can't hold on to it. Frontenacs will get it out to center ice. McLean loses it. Eamon Edgar, backhand pass. Bishop takes the bump. Right, sends this one into the Barrie zone. Right, we'll get to it first into the corner. Hands are trying to tie him up. Sementsov picks it up here for the Colts. He'll send it across. Eamon Edgar to Salandra. He's going to dump this one in. Henderson in the corner. Trying to send that one ahead. It went off Joe Salandra's skate. Colts to the line, captained by Emerton. Emerton takes the shots, and that's blocked in front. Bishop, backhand pass. Frontenacs with possession. Turning it around is McLean. Up to Durbin. Durbin through the neutral zone. He'll send this one up to Justin Hanser. Hanser has it behind his own net as he'll set things up. Hanser takes his time. Up to Salandra. Salandra sends it deep. Betts behind the net. Turns it over. Wilmot in front. Shot scores. Cole Bodwin. Gavin Betts could not get back into his net in time. Wilmot takes advantage. Finds Bodwin, and it's now 2-1.
A costly mistake there, and the Barrie Colts take advantage, and it's the two veterans. Wilmot had a nice little nifty little back pass to Bodwin for the easy tap into the empty net. Just like that, it's Betts with the back to play it there, and he kind of allowed it to go through, and that allowed Wilmot to grab that loose puck behind the net with Betts behind the net. He's able to backhand it quickly to Bowden in front for the easy tapping, and the Colts have their first lead of the contest.
And that's now two great assists from Ben Wilmot. Set up Hemming at later stages of the first period, and now Cole Bodwin for his 33rd of the season. Frontenacs trying to send this one around. Pobazal comes up with it for Kingston, reaches center ice. That's going to be a penalty as Ben Wilmot's tripped up Mishiak. And we're going to get our first power play of the hockey game, and that's going to go to the Kingston Frontenacs.
Right, the Colts get the start they want in this period, but Kingston's going to have the first power play of this contest.
The Frontenacs power play right now ranked 14th in the OHL at 19.1%, while the Colts PK right now 11th at 78.3%. So a chance here for Kingston to try and even this game at 2. They're going to bring this face off to the right of Harebic. Pobazal taking the draw. He'll send this one to the boards. McLean trying to get a stick on it. There's Kuhlman. He turns it over, and the Colts will skate it out shorthanded. That's Calvin Crombie. Crombie on the wing, takes the shot, stopped by Betts. Williams behind the net, keeps it away from Crombie. Van Williamson sends this one forward to Kuhlman. Kuhlman on the wing, enters the zone, loses it in the skates of Williamson. He'll send this one back to Pobazal. Side of the net, stopped by Harebic. That was Kuhlman with the one-timer. He's going to go to Mishiak along the far boards. Mishiak to Pobazal, back to the blue line, Williamson. Here's McLean, back to Williamson, but that pass is off target. 1:23 left in the power play here for the Frontenacs. Williamson skates this one ahead into the attacking zone, surrounded by white sweaters. That's going to be poked to the corner. Back behind his own net is Kayshawn Aitchison. He's quickly sending this one down the length of the ice. Betts will play it behind his own net. 1:06 left in the penalty to Ben Wilmot. Pobazal skates this one forward for Kingston. Up to Kuhlman, back to Pobazal. He's got a lane to the net, takes the shot, stopped by Harebic. Kuhlman comes up with it, takes the hit there from Hanser. Back to the point, Mishiak sets up McLean. McLean to the side of the net, Kuhlman back to McLean. Here's Henderson at the high point. Back to Mishiak, fans on it, trying to keep it, but that's knocked out by Carter Lowe. That's going to go back down into the Kingston zone. The Colts make a change with the penalty kill unit. 34 seconds left in the power play for Kingston. Henderson will drop this one back to Durbin. Durbin through center. Across to right. Right has it on the far side. Gets to the corner. Drops it back to McGowan. Malik McGowan. Down low to Durbin. Durbin. Down to the net. There's the shot. Stopped by Harebic. Side of the net. McGowan. He fires that one wide. That puck's going to sail back out to the neutral zone as Wilmot getting ready to come out of the penalty box. Durbin skates it in for the Frontenacs. He'll hit the brakes. Durbin along the far boards. Looks to the net, trying to skate it to the middle, blocked back to Henderson, side of the net, quickly in front, Durbin. His shot scores! Kieran Durbin puts that one under the bar and in. And the Frontenacs, after the power play expired, have tied it at 2.
Well, just good puck movement. You move around. You don't stay in one place. It makes it hard for you to defend. And the Frontenacs, just as that power play ends, get that goal right back. And what a finish by Durbin in that slot area. and just the open net, and Rebick coming back to the middle of that net, but the quick shot upstairs, and the Frontenacs are all even.
Some good pressure there from Kingston, especially at the tail end of that power play, and that momentum just carried over as Kieran Durbin now 17 goals on the season. Frontenacs get it at center ice, carrying that one in. On the far side is Butter. Butter turns it around the corner, back to the blue line to Lucas Moore. Here's Mondo at the point. In front, Moore gets it back at the line. Lucas Moore, nice little move there. Backhand pass to Clark, and that shot's deflected wide. Butter on the far side keeps this one in. Sends it around the boards, ends it behind the Barrie net. Armstrong to Keyshawn Aitchison as the Colts regroup. Aitchison will move this one forward. Here's Hemming in the neutral zone. He's going to dump it in. Betts back behind his own net. Quickly to Mondo. Mondo ahead for Kuhlman. Alex Kuhlman, his pass. That goes off the skate of Emerton. Chasing after it is Snyder. Snyder will get to it here for Kingston. He's taken into the boards. Loose puck picked up by Kuzma. Robin Kuzma along the boards. Delayed penalty call coming against the Colts. Puck sent deep on a delayed offside against the Frontenacs. The Colts touch it. And we'll get the penalty. And this time it's going to be a cross check. And it's going against Keyshawn Aitchison.
Well, Aitchison was battling behind the net. I think it was Kuhlman. They're both going at it, but it's Aitchison that's going to draw the call. And that Kingston power play already connected. They go right back at, or excuse me, just after the Kingston power play, but the Fronts got good pressure on it. And another opportunity here.
So it's faceoff will come to the right of Horebic, but Aitchison in the penalty box. Pobazal will take the faceoff against William Schneid. That's going to be knocked down the ice, so Frontenacs forced to come back to pick it up deep in their own zone. Van Williamson will set things up here for the Frontenacs as he comes out from behind his own net. Williamson up to Mishiak. That doesn't connect. Horebic. He's going to send this one ahead. Kept in by Kuhlman. Alex Kuhlman. He'll peel back to the point, trying to keep it away from Schneid. Kuhlman along the board, stays with it, but no one was there for the Frontenacs, and that's going to go back into the Kingston zone. That's leaving it there for Williamson. And Williamson will skate this one forward for the Frontenacs. Looks ahead, finds Pobajal on the wing. Pobajal, he's stopped, but he sends it around the boards. Passmore behind his own net, quickly out, gets it out. And the Frontenacs not able to set things up on this latest power play. It's now down to a minute 10. Williamson will skate it out again here for the Frontenacs. Up to Mishiak. Mishiak, that's center. He'll skate this one in. Alex Mishiak drops it back to Kuhlman. Leaves it for McLean at the point Williamson. Williamson rides the line. Leaving it there for Mishiak. Alex Mishiak passing it over Williamson. His shot deflected. Side of the net. Scores! Wide open net. As Alex McLean will bury it. And it's now 3-2 for Kingston.
Well, you get a break on the deflection in McLean. I mean, that yawning cage. Well, the Colts getting a bit of penalty trouble here in the second period after getting the go-ahead goal. Again, France just good movement on the power play, good puck movement. They get a fortunate bounce right to McLean in front. Rebick, no position to make that stop. And McLean just finds himself with a puck and a yawning cage. And just like that, the Frontenacs down 2-1 in a matter of minutes. They got the lead back.
Yeah, no chance whatsoever for Ben Horebic on that one as Alex McLean gets his 11th of the season. What a pickup from the Guelph Storm. Colts looking to respond as Teague Vader goes to the neutral zone. He's going to dump it in. Betts behind his own net to play it. He'll give this one up to Henderson. Henderson ahead. That's going to get out of the zone. Chasing after it is Butter. Horebic coming out of his net to play it. Sends it ahead. That's going to escape the zone. Bishop comes up with it. Loose puck. Slandra couldn't get there in time. Henderson from his own blue line ahead for Durbin. Durbin trying to get around Vader. That goes to the corner. Durbin in the corner for the Frontenacs. Sends it back, but not able to connect with Wright. And that's going to sail all the way back into the Frontenac zone. Bishop back behind his own net. He'll set things up here for Kingston, who have their second lead of the night. Matthew Henderson will start it up. Bishop across. Here's Durbin. He'll enter the zone. Drops it back to Clark. Clark trying to keep it away from Baudouin. Riley Clark back to the line. Williamson fanned on that shot attempt. Puck got away from him. Hemming trying to get to it, taken there by Wright. Wright goes behind the net, loses it to Aitchison. Here's Emil Hemming now. Sends it across. Wilmot has it go off his skate. Butter off the bench to play it. Beaudoin skated into Passmore, sends it to the near side now. Hemming avoided McGowan. Aitchison to Hemming. Hemming, his shot blocked by McGowan. Beaudoin gets it at the point. He's going to send this one around the boards. Betts slows it down behind the net. Williamson loses it to Hemming. Emil Hemming comes to the corner and back to the point. Aitchison winds up, doesn't take the shot. Now he will. And that's blocked by McGowan. Aitchison reaching for the puck. Gets it along the boards. Wilmot back behind the net. Here's Cole Beaudoin. Beaudoin's going to send this one back to the line. Emerson to Aitchison. Back to Hemming. Emil Hemming takes the shot, deflected. And Betts able to get the glove on it. And he's going to hold on with 12:23 remaining here in the second period.
Well, the Colts just 7 shots and almost halfway through this game. Just not a lot of push forward. They got the 2 goals, but you can tell who this game matters to right now. Kingston just simply carrying the play for the most part. Kind of for France. I mean, they give up that early goal. They come right back with 2 back-to-back goals. You take advantage of the power play opportunity and just right at the end of the other one.
Well, the Frontenacs right now out shooting the Colts 16-7. And like you said, this is a Frontenacs team right now. They want to secure 6th spot in the Eastern Conference. And if they're going to do that, they need to rack up the points. And they're getting the job done right now this evening here in Kingston.
I mean, and just looking at it, I mean, they played Ottawa tough this year, Kingston has, but they played Barrie pretty tough as well. And, credit to them. I mean, this Kingston team, they've been playing some good hockey. And again, this all goes to the coaching and, they play responsible hockey. They don't give up a lot of chances. They don't give up, they don't get themselves in penalty trouble. Just a well-disciplined team.
Frontenacs win the faceoff. Kuhlman's going to send it up to Kuzma. That doesn't connect. It's going to sail back into the Barrie zone. Emerton kicks this one back. He'll take it from Snyder. Emerton off the boards. To center, kicked ahead by Lowe. That rolls into the Kingston zone, and Crombie couldn't get there in time as Betts will cover it up.
Well, Gavin Betts has really kind of wrestled the starting job for Minchuk. I mean, Minchuk was the talk. I mean, went to the Prospects game, had an outstanding performance there. And, that's pretty nice. I mean, we talk in Barrie about, having Arvin Jaswell and Venerevic as your pair. And Kingston's got a pretty good pair here.
And that's what you need for a deep playoff run. You want to have 2 quality goaltenders. And the Frontenacs, they could go either way, Betts or Minchuk, and they both have save percentages over 900, which is quite remarkable, as the goaltending this season around the Ontario Hockey League has just been something else. Colts get this one out to center ice. Crombie chasing after it. Calvin Crombie skates it in for the Colts near side, but that was blocked. Puck rolls to the far corner. Moore sends this one up to Snyder. Snyder trying to get it out of the zone. That will. Kuhlman after the loose puck. Aitchison takes it away from him. Kayshawn Aitchison, he'll flip this one down the ice. That's knocked down by Mondo at his own blue line. Andre Mondo near side. Trying to find Kuzma. That got away from him. Passmore up ahead. No one there for the Colts. That's center. Aitchison up to Newton. Jaden Newton. Backhand pass to Passmore. Evan Passmore will send it off the boards. Taken away there by Kuhlman. Up to Snyder. Kuzma chasing after the loose puck. Taken there by Kayshawn Aitchison. He's going to put it back behind the net. Jonah McCormick, he's taken into the boards. Colts trying to play it. Snyder got a skate on it. Kuzma along the boards. Trying to weave his way, but it's taken there by Passmore, and the Colts will get it out. Bishop picks it up at center ice. He's going to turn this one around, dumps it in. Horevic back behind his own net. Leaving it there for Passmore as the Frontenacs right now making a line change. Kayshawn Aitchison, he's going to move it ahead. Here's Desiderio. Desiderio's pass picked off. Frontenacs get it again. Durbin dropping it back to Henderson as the Frontenacs try to regroup. Far side with it now. That's Landon Wright. Wright sends it wide to the net. Durbin's there now for Kingston. Back to line Bishop. Winds up. Shot deflected. Rebek's looking for it. It's loose, and McCormick gets to it first. McCormick able to send it down the ice as the Frontenacs continue to put on pressure here. Here's Durbin on the wing now. To the nets, and McLean got a piece of it. Not enough. Puck kept in at the point by Henderson. Up ahead to McLean. McLean along the boards goes back to Henderson. Henderson off the point. He'll take the shot in front. Rebek's got the pad down. Puck goes over the net. Frontenacs still putting on the pressure here. Here's Durbin. He comes back to the line. Kieran Durbin, his pass. That doesn't connect. Newton trying to get to the loose puck. McCormick can't get a stick on it. Passmore gets it out to center. That goes off Henderson, so no icing. Salandra after the loose puck. Joe Salandra into the corner. He's tied up by Bishop. Salandra trying to move it as we're now past the midway point of the hockey game. 3-2 for the Kingston Frontenacs. Sementsov in front, but not able to get it there was Edgar. Frontenacs get it out to center ice. Knocked down by Armstrong. Armstrong sends it into the zone, but Salandra will touch it, and that's going to be an offside call.
The Colts on their heels being outshot 18-7. And again, I mean, the Colts just, they got to slip it up a gear right now. They haven't followed Kingston. And, you're talking about the OHL coaches poll. And, one of the interesting things I saw was Ben Rebick winning the category for the best stick handling goaltender. That's a credit to Dave Beliski and just working on all the little things. I mean, Rebick came into this league and you could see it at times, early on, maybe not as comfortable handling the puck, and just to see that development over the last couple of years to the point now that, he's being well regarded in that category.
It still amazes me that Rebick wasn't drafted last summer. But with what he's done this year, an NHL contract is coming. As the Colts pick it up in their own zone, Eamon Edgar sends it across. Sementsov leaves it for Vader. Teague Vader loses the handle of it. Sementsov trying to take it from Moore. Edgar gets the loose puck. He's taken into the corners by Mishiak. Pobajal will skate this one out for the Frontenacs. Reaches center ice. Pobajal up ahead to Dever rather. Dever drops it back to Moore. Lucas Moore has that poked away by Sementsov. And the Colts will skate it out. Here's Emil Hemming. Hemming's got Bodwin going to the net. His pass is blocked. What an effort there by Alex Mishiak diving to take away the pass. Pobajal turns it over. Hemming, though, can't hold on to it. Mishiak trying to get it out. Loose puck picked up by Bodwin. His shot just misses that far post. What a shot by Cole Bodwin. Colts have it at the point. Emerton, he's going to send it around behind the net. Wilmot, that misses. Off the blue line is Hanser. Justin Hanser going behind the Kingston net. Takes a hit from McGowan. Pobajal comes up with it. He can't get it out. Hanser fires it, but that's deflected and into the mitt of Gavin Betts.
Cole Bodwin did not miss by much. I mean, he just stepped in, took that loose puck, stepped in from the blue line, and that shot looking for the far inside post just missed.
Well, that shot from Cole Bodwin, it has heat. And he's another player that was mentioned quite a bit in that coaches poll. It's amazing to just see where he's come from and just his offense in his first year. It took some time to get going, but now he's just in beast mode at times.
It's just that work ethic. I mean, in all areas, whether it's, conditioning, on and off the ice. I mean, this guy is just, he doesn't leave any stone unturned when it comes to making himself a better hockey player.
Puck goes back into the Kingston zone. Williamson up to Clark. Riley Clark will skate it in for the Frontenacs, trying to skate it up the middle, peels back. Clark still with it here for the Frontenacs, leaves it for Williamson. Williamson waits, goes to that, backhand, stopped by Rebick, loose puck, and that's blocked. That was Frost who had it, but the Colts will get it out and take it up. Hanser to Crombie. Calvin Crombie trying to go across, but Frost was in the way. Hanser, his shot wide of the net. Schneid couldn't get a stick on it. Ben Wilmot down low for the Colts, ends up behind the Kingston net. Williamson takes it. McGowan up to Frost. Frost loses the handle of it. That's center. Frost will dump this one in. Rebick stays in his net, so Bodwin's going to come back to collect it. Cole Bodwin, the Utah Mammoth prospect. He'll skate through the neutral zone. Bodwin still with it. Cole Bodwin to the net, in front to Hemming, but couldn't get a stick on it. Right. Trying to move this one around. Colts take it. Hemming keeps this one in play momentarily. Now it's knocked out by McLean. Wilmot can't get a stick on it. Durbin on the near side. Kieran Durbin blocked by Wilmot. Ben Wilmot drops it back. That's going to escape the zone. Hemming has to chase after it. Hemming to Bodwin. Bodwin's just going to put this back into the Kingston zone. 6:24 left to go in the second period as Henderson comes out from behind the net. Right on the far side, knocked down there by Bodwin. Loose puck. It's rolling. Kingston will pick it up. There's Wright. Landon Wright. His shot blocked. Ends up in the corner. Wright trying to take this one free. Armstrong has it along the boards. Ethan Armstrong goes to Bodwin. Up to Hemming. Hemming to Wilmot. Colts, though, can't get it out of the zone. Here's Durbin. Durbin passes it across. It's between the legs of Horebic. He's on top as he does some snow angels there to keep it out, and he'll get the whistle.
Colts have been sloppy in their own zone, and they've been fortunate. Rebick making a couple of big stops in that time. They're not able to get the puck zone. And to watch this Kingston team and names that we're familiar with, and Malik McGowan and Williamson back there, two veterans that just they log a ton of minutes and so dependable back there. And Malik McGowan, there's a guy that we talked about at the trade deadline, other teams, but I asking about him, and I understand that he didn't want to go anywhere. That's what it was. The club allowed him, and maybe a player that I'm sure drew a lot of interest from other OHL teams. But McGowan, he wanted to stay with his hockey team, and what a force he is back there.
Yeah, Malik McGowan, what a talent. And remember, last year in the playoffs, he got injured in game 1. So if he didn't get hurt in that start of the series, who knows? Maybe Kingston would have been able to take that series. He's just that much of an impact of a player.
That's it. That's a big factor. And you lose a guy like that, and it's a big loss for the Kingston Frontenacs.
Face-off won by Kingston, but it's picked up by Hanser. Colts will skate it up. McCormick takes a weird bounce at the timekeeper's bench. Puck sent deep into the Kingston zone. Kuzma is going to come back to pick it up for the Frontenacs. Kuzma back to Mondo. Mondo's going to set things up here as we're approaching 5.5 minutes remaining in the period. Up the wing. Snyder gives it up to Kuhlman. He loses it. Desiderio will pick it up for the Colts and dumps it in. That's going to go to the corner. Mondo back to play it. Desiderio trying to knock this one out in front. Picked up here by the Frontenacs. Kuzma with possession. Loose puck. Moore. He'll get this one out and down the ice. Emerton will pick it up at his own blue line. Sends it ahead to Jaden Newton. Newton dumps this one in after his Desiderio behind the defense. Poked by Betts. Puck goes behind the net. What a chance there for Desiderio as he nearly got the bounce. And then Kuzma gets by Armstrong. But Vader able to knock that one back. McCormick dumps this one in. Barrie Colts will make a line change as Mondo will come back to play it here for the Frontenacs. 3-2 is the score. Goals from Clark, Durbin, and McLean for the Frontenacs. And then for Barrie, it's Hemming and Baudouin. As that puck's going to go deep. Armstrong to pick it up. Facing pressure there from Mishiak. Dever, he's knocked down by Salandra. Puck goes back behind the Barrie net. Ethan Armstrong, he'll pass this one up. Sementsov got a stick on it, but not enough. Bishop nearly gave it up to Sementsov. Henderson in front of his own net to play it. He's going to skate it back behind his own net. Matthew Henderson. He'll pass that one over to Bishop as the Frontenacs move it out. Mishiak gets a stick on it, so no icing. Aitchison's going to come back to play it. In front, picked up here by Salandra. Sementsov couldn't control that pass attempt. Got away from him. Bishop to Pobijal. Pobijal's just going to dump it in. Here's Kayshawn Aitchison going back behind his own net. Aitchison's going to take his time here as the Barrie Colts complete a change, as will the Frontenacs. 3:45 left. Aitchison moving it up now. Up the wing. Here's Evan Passmore. He's got speed through center. Passmore stays with it. Puck goes in the air. Low behind the net. Trying to pick it up. Carter Lowe. In front, loose puck. Jamming at it was Crombie. But Betts able to jump on top of that. Now we get some pushing and shoving. Something we really haven't seen much of here tonight. As Mondo right now has Schneid in a bit of a headlock. I don't think we're getting any penalties right now, but we'll have to wait and see.
We haven't seen this feistiness, but John there low trying to get that puck out in front of Crombie, and really shoving, and I don't think they're going to get anything here, but
no, Pobijal is actually heading in the box now.
Things have cooled off there, but Colts are going to go on their first power play of this contest.
Crombie's heading over now,
never
too.
Mind.
Well, this Frontenacs team, they play such a disciplined style. They're the least penalized team in the OHL, so power plays are hard to come by when you do play against this Frontenacs team.
Well, again, right, it makes discipline so important. It's such a key advantage on the power play, getting that. You have to be careful of Kingston that you don't take too many penalties. It creates such a disadvantage just knowing that this isn't a team that finds its way into the penalty box very often.
So it's going to be 4-on-4 for the full 2 minutes. Aubergine and Crombie, the two players in the penalty box. Face off to the right of Betts, and it's skated ahead quickly here by Dervin. Kieran Dervin takes the shot, stopped by Horebic. McLean couldn't get to that rebound in time. Baudouin's going to take it up for the Colts. Cole Baudouin through the neutral zone. Looking over his shoulder, stays with it, goes to the corner. He's got McGowan on him. Cole Baudouin in the corner. He's tied up by McGowan, trying to play it back. Hemming joins the crowd. Baudouin back to the line, pass Moore. Here's Aitchison on the far side. His shot blocked. Hemming comes up with it as a Frontenac player lost his stick. Emil Hemming drops it back. Here's Justin Hanser. Hanser drops to Baudouin. Poked away by McGowan. What a great read by Malik McGowan, but that puck's going to sail back into the Barrie zone for Kayshawn Aitchison. Aitchison ahead for Baudouin at center ice. He'll skate it in, up to Hemming. Emil Hemming cuts across. Nearly lost the handle of it as he's got Mondo putting on the pressure. Hemming stays with it. Over to Hanser. Justin Hanser thought about giving it up, stays with it instead. Comes to the near point, drops it there for Baudouin. He's tripped up, and that's now a penalty against Alex Kulemin as he just had his stick in the feet of Cole Baudouin, and that's going to be the first power play of the night for the Barrie Colts.
Baudouin's upended, and Hemming working along that blue line. It's like he had a magnet on his stick. But watch Baudouin going into the corner there, stick the foot out. Any doubt about that one? And Barrie down by a goal here late in the second period. They get their first power play, one of the top power plays in the Ontario Hockey League. We've got to work here.
And this Barrie Colts power play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. And the Barrie Colts power play right now, third overall at 26.8%. But this Kingston team, they have the third best penalty kill, operating at 81.4%. And it's a 4-on-3 situation to start. As the Colts send it back to the line, here's Cole Emerton. Emerton to Salandra. Back to Emerton. Emerton sets up Eamon Edgar. At the blue line, Emerton to Salandra. Salandra lost the handle of it. McGowan chases after it. Puck's in the corner to Wilmot. Trying to go back to Salandra along the half boards. Emerton to Edgar. Eamon Edgar goes back to Emerton. Here's Salandra. Salandra across to Edgar. One-timer, and Betts somehow made that save, as it looked like Edgar was actually trying to make a pass. Salandra trying to take it down low. He'll peel back to Wilmot. Wilmot back to Salandra. 7 seconds, and then it's going to be a 5-on-4 situation. Salandra waits, goes across to Wilmot. Wilmot back to Salandra. At the point, Emerton. Emerton back to Wilmot. It's a 5-on-4, but Edgar gets a piece. How did that not go in? Eamon Edgar with the deflection in front. Looks like it may have gone off the crossbar, but what a chance there for the rookie forward.
Well, just great puck movement by the Colts in that power play. Those quick passes again, looking for the open man. At that time, Edgar parked in front, able to get a stick on it right off the crossbar. Somehow stays out. Edgar kind of looked up.
Well, from our angle here, it looked like a sure thing. Betts was down on the ice, and Edgar just had the whole top shelf to work with. But the goalie's best friend comes up huge with that crossbar. Power play down to 1:02 here for the Colts. Hemming on the far side, looking at his options. He's being chased there by Kuzma. Back to the line, Aitchison. Here's Joe Salandra. Salandra, side of the net. Baudouin trying to tuck it around. It's in the paint. Colts can't get to it. Kept in by Aitchison. Here's Salandra again. Joe Salandra drops it back to Aitchison. We're in the final minute of the second period. Aitchison's going to send it over to Hemming. Emil Hemming. Looking back to the line, Kuzma's in the way. Second time, gets to Aitchison. Here's Salandra. Salandra waits, across to Hemming, fires off the post. Emil Hemming strikes iron. Puck comes back to the line. Aitchison fires stop. Rebound, and that's sent wide by Baudouin. Hemming sets up Aitchison. Here's Salandra on the near side. Across to Hemming, in front to Edgar, but he couldn't get a stick on it. At the point, Aitchison, 13 seconds left in the power play, and that goes off Baudouin. And it looks like we've got another penalty here against Kingston as Cole Baudouin is down on the ice. Looked like he may have taken a high stick. And that's going to be Andre Mondeau that's going to go off.
Baudouin parked right in front, got a stick right in the chops. And just great puck movement by Barrie, great pressure. And Land parked in front. Hopefully he's all right. Checks the chicklets. Okay, they're all there. This top unit.
Well, the referees right now are having a conversation. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to be a 4-minute double minor or if they're going to look at this. But they're having a long conversation. 27.1 seconds left to go here in the second period. The penalty to Alex Kuhlman about to expire in 10 seconds.
Colts able to do a really good job and get that puck into the front zone and just great puck movement on that power play. And, the good news out of that is Bodman's all right. He's back out there. Like you're going to keep him off the ice.
I think even if he lost a limb, he would still want to be out there.
Like you're going to keep him off,
So it's going to be 2 minutes for high sticking to Mondo. So it's a 5-on-3 now for 10 seconds.
No, that's all I hear from Smoskets every time, they want to sit a guy and it's like we're pleading. Get me right back in there. And it's a little bit of bump. All right. Take a game off. Nope. Nope. Take a shift off. Nope.
Well, right now, referee Blake Beer having a conversation with Cole Baudouin. He wants him off the ice after having that injury. So Baudouin, he's got to be sent to the bench.
The one person that can make him go.
The referee stops him in his tracks. So it's a 5-on-3. Wilmot wins the draw back to Aitchison. Oh, look, there's Baudouin. He's back on the ice. Here's Hemming. Over to Aitchison. One-timer. That goes wide. Baudouin had to jump out of the way of that blast. Now it's a 5-on-4. Aitchison fires again, and it goes wide. In front, stopped. It goes in the air. That bounces off the top of the net. And they're going to say it was touched with a high stick. So that's going to be sent out of the zone. As the Colts, they're getting the chances, but they can't beat the post, the crossbar, or the top of the net right now.
Baudouin, that high stick trying to swat it in after it bounced up. But how about Aitchison? I mean, just bringing the hammer twice there. First time he almost hit. Man, you had to get out of the way quick there.
Well, when Aitchison winds up, you got to be aware of where that puck may end up.
Real surprised that he had the hardest shot in the Eastern Conference. What a hammer.
Face-off won by the Frontenacs. McGowan's just going to take this one into the boards. 2 seconds left in the period. I'm going to get my words together at some point. But that'll do it for 40 minutes of play. The Frontenacs up 3-2. But it will be a Barrie Colts power play at the start of the third period.
And things really picked up there late. A lot of that is the power plays, the Colts, the intensity with a man advantage. But it's not a bad one through 40 minutes here. And, the Frontenacs, I think the early part really taking it to Barrie there. Barrie was a bit on their heels. Revic made a nice couple of stops there, and the Colts, spurred on by that power play late. And I mean, they just do such a great job of moving the puck around, and they try to do it quickly, right? Try to get that open man. And then, of course, who else but Keyshawn Aitchison, you find him there, and, those one-timers. And, Cole Baudouin kind of looked at him and said, like, you might put that a little bit closer to the net. I'm over to the side of the net.
Well, I like that Rano mentioning the Monty Python reference. We were talking about losing a limb.
Losing a limb, yeah.
But that's just the way that Cole Baudouin plays.
It's just a mere limb.
It's just a flesh wound.
Flesh wound.
Oh, great. Now we're going to have Monty Python references for the rest of the night.
No, and, I mean, it's just, they got the regulars out tonight, all healthy, and, sit some bodies tonight. And, look, it didn't look like, you could see, obviously, the Colts, they're not moving up and down the standings. And, but I'll tell you, like that power play, when it gets going, it's fun to watch. Even that second unit, they're missing some big guys from that second unit tonight. Brad Gardner, a big part of that, Parker Von Richter, exciting second period. And the shots, I mean, still only 11 Barrie shots, but Kingston, they've played really well here tonight. I mean, the game means a lot more to them, but early pressure, but Barrie with the power play. We'll see if they can carry that momentum they get near the end of the second period.
Now, every time we come to Kingston, or whenever we get to see the Kingston Frontenacs, Jim Gilchrist, the radio voice of the Kingston Frontenacs, always a great guy to chat with. He's a legend in the Ontario Hockey League, and able to get a chat with him before the game. And I know that he keeps getting requests from broadcasters to stay at his place when the OHL draft takes place here in Kingston in June. But Jim Gilchrist, what a classic and a staple with the Kingston Frontenac scene.
Yeah, I was bugging him when it looked like these two teams are going to hook up in the first round. I said, "Look, I got my stuff packed. I'll take one of the bigger rooms. And one with an ensuite." And I said we put in our breakfast orders. But again, Jim Gilchrist is one of the really veteran guys around the league. I mean, he's seen it all, and just a good guy too. And it was really great to see the Frontenacs honor him. Last year, and well deserved, and again, just a fun guy to be around.
Yeah, Jim Gilchrist just passed the 3,000 broadcast mark 2 seasons ago, and I don't know if he's stopping anytime soon. He's a beauty, and I think you could rename this building after him.
It's always nice to talk about someone younger than me. There's not many around the league.
Yep.
And you go to the broadcaster and reporters, but. Hey, I mean, Jim makes me feel young, so.
There you go. That's a win. So here's our conversation pre-game with Kingston Frontenacs radio play-by-play voice, Jim Gilchrist. Joined by Kingston Frontenacs radio play-by-play voice, Jim Gilchrist. And Jim, it's always exciting times coming up to Slush Puppy Place after such a great series last year between the Colts and the Frontenacs. Obviously this year, a little different for this Kingston team, but getting some wins right now, riding a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah, pretty hot lately, and I think, Troy, man, one of the major reasons for us getting healthy all of a sudden here, we were missing some big names as Durbin, a big shooter up front. It was just getting hot. Alex McLean, just shortly after we picked up in that trade for Tyler Hopkins going to Guelph, been at a point-a-game streak going really well there, then was injured a shoulder and had been down for about 3-4 weeks altogether there. So that had been taking a big snipe off the front end there. Durbin and also Dever been out for a while. Dever blocking a shot, so been out for a good month or so as well. So taking 3 big names out of the forward unit for the Fronts there for a good couple of months in the January, February most. Now getting some bodies back in that run heading into the playoff picture. So good timing on this one, and hopefully just stay healthy right now.
And one player that seems to always stand out to me, Malik McGowan. Obviously a great talent there on the blue line, and just bringing that offense as well. Just talk a bit about his game and what he means to the Frontenacs.
Yeah, just so much for getting out of his own zone. He's not one to really stay back, and about maybe too many times he'll get that puck out of the zone there. But Williamson is our captain of the Fronts, of course. Good steady defenseman along with him to kind of stay back there and help protect anybody. But he's not afraid to just take it off and do something and create some offense inside anybody else's blue line. So do something with it. And he's just a patented one big hit at least per game. So, and you saw that when we lost McGowan, the first game there when we were the Colts Fronts playoff series there, and that took a lot from also our defense and the offense carrying out of our own zone. So that made a big difference in that series.
And another big difference for the Frontenacs organization has been the coaching of Troy Mann. He just reached that 100-win milestone, and it just seems as though it's been a breath of fresh air when it comes to the systems out there on the ice and just what he brings with that professional pedigree on the bench.
Yeah, ever since he came back here 2.5 years there, really, and especially we saw it in the playoffs there last year when we swept Sudbury and then getting into your series, just keeping it, on a low key for everybody, get game by game and really getting ready for everything during the regular season. Had his thing going for every game going, especially our game on the road, just to have every story about what we want to do on every game, etc. Off ice, getting everything all arranged for everything, all the trips and everybody else. So that professional operation really showed on and off the ice, and it's really showing even more so right now.
And both Barrie and Kingston playing the final 3 games of the regular season. And right now, playoff picture-wise, looks like maybe Kingston-Ottawa first round. And we were talking before, I didn't realize how long it's been since we've seen Kingston-Ottawa in the playoffs.
Yeah, it can be said truthfully when you said the Frontenacs and the 67s have never played a playoff series. And because the last time Kingston and Ottawa met in a playoff series was 1981. That was my first year here in 80-81. And they came here, and the 1981 was the last time Kingston Canadians and the Ottawa 67s played in a playoff series. Bernie Nichols was the big story for the Canadians, winning that playoff series over Ottawa that year.
And obviously, it's not set in stone yet, so there's still that possibility that Barrie and Kingston could meet in the first round into the playoffs. But just looking at that series last year and just seeing the growth of this team, obviously Kingston a little younger than we saw last year, but still, this team's showing a lot of growth and potential going forward.
Yeah, it's Gavin Betts is going to be a big story, I think, into the playoffs. And I don't think I'm being held back here by saying that if we could beat Ottawa in a 6 or 7 game series, but against a tough Barrie team, that's going to be really tough. We got to come up with a win in your barn right there because we're on a 10-game losing streak there in Barrie, no matter what it's called. You know, they've changed the name a few times, but we've had a lot of difficulty over the years in winning in that building. So that's got to do something on the road. But goaltending in playoffs has got to be the key in something there.
And on our drive up, Gene, Josh, and I were talking about Cornwall being not too far from here, just up the highway. And, of course, with all the rumblings about will the league expand, you were calling games with the Cornwall Royals were here not too long ago. Talk about what it would mean to have a team in Cornwall back potentially.
Yeah, that would be great, getting that back and making that kind of rivalry with kind of the triangle with Ottawa, Cornwall, and Kingston, and even throw in Peterborough and Oshawa not too far away there either. With all those games, it was a great kind of series going on here between Ottawa, Peterborough, along with Belleville. The Belleville Bulls were in the lineup at that time too, so it was always kind of close and very good rivalry going with all the eastern cities going on at that time.
And obviously some regular season games planned for next season in Cornwall. Has the arena changed much recently? Do you feel like it's a city that's ready for OHL hockey?
Yeah, that's why they're not in the league right now, I guess, because the city hasn't spent the money to add the suites and really improve to the entire arena. I mean, the arena's okay. It's a lot better looking than other rinks that we've seen around right now in the OHL, but certainly they haven't added the suites whatsoever and some of the improvements overall to the league or to the building itself. So if they've got to do that, then they've got to be able to get back into the OHL, I think. But I can't see that happening when we're talking about Chatham right now. More talk about that joining the league and just the odd game with Ottawa and us, the Frontenacs, playing in Cornwall rather than traveling down to Brampton. So games with Brampton getting the home ice advantage, but just the one game being played down in Cornwall.
So, getting ready for Frontenacs and Colts here tonight, and I know Gene keeps saying that he's booking his spot for the draft at your place.
Oh, yeah, everybody's kind of blocked a block on my patio at home, not just downtown, but we'll move it downtown there too.
Well, it's always great catching up with you, and all the best going into the playoffs.
Could be seeing you next week, of course, there, Mike. See you then.
Welcome back to Slush Puppy Place in Kingston, as it's the Barrie Colts and the Kingston Frontenacs. Right now it's a 3-2 hockey game in favor of the hometown Frontenacs. So we're going to check in with the chat momentarily. I've noticed it's been quite active in this one. You're kind of getting out of hand with the Monty Python reference there.
It's just great to see. I mean, it's just, I love it.
So we'll get to the chat in just a moment, but let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboards, because there's some important games taking place here tonight. Earlier this afternoon, the Ottawa 67s, they defeated Oshawa by a score of 6-1. So the Generals still with the best odds to win the draft lottery. The London Knights right now up 4-1 on the Guelph Storm. Remember, London 1 point back of the Sioux in the Western Conference standings. The Niagara Ice Dogs trailing Brantford by a score of 2-1. If Brantford gets a win, they lock up the top seed in the Eastern Conference standings. The Owen Sound Attack right now up 3-2 on the Flint Firebirds. Flint in a little bit of trouble now. A loss last night in Kitchener, and now losing to Owen Sound. The Sioux Greyhounds down 2-1 to the Saginaw Spirit. That's after 2 periods of play. And the Sarnia Sting up 2-1 on the Erie Otters. So some interesting results right now if they hold up, as both Barrie and Ottawa trying to keep pace with the Brantford Bulldogs at the top of the standings. But just that one win, if they can hold on against Niagara, then they've locked up the top seed.
Well, Brantford looking to lock it up. And, you got Windsor and Flint battling for home ice there. And, that's great. I mean, here we are just, a few days from the end of the regular season. Still a lot to be determined. It just tells you, I mean, how competitive it was this season.
Yeah, and with those results, too, if London holds on to that win against Guelph, and if Sault Ste. Marie loses to Saginaw, those two teams are going to flip places, and suddenly the rebuilding London Knights could have home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs.
I mean, what a turnaround. I mean, the Greyhounds had a lot of injuries in this latter part of the second half to get Chase Reed back and, Brady Martin back earlier. So big, but, you got to figure, I mean, the London Knights are always the London Knights. It's a tough building to win in.
It is, but we're about 5 minutes away from the start of the third period of play. So let's take a look at what's going on in the chats. Let me just go up. The chat's just been so busy today. I don't know what we did. But Lee was asking how are the fries in Kingston after saying Josh is getting lost. He's back from getting lost for food. Well, the way the arena's set up here, we didn't want to send Josh down to the concession because we wanted him to come back and see some of the game. We understand that not a lot of concession space up here in the upper bowl in Kingston.
No, you come up with a suite level, right? It's a little bit different up here, but normally he's the man to get the food run. But
yeah, well, he'll be taking over, I guess, again in the third period momentarily. But we also have Historic Somatic saying top shelf broadcasting. Thanks for all the effort to bring these broadcasts to all us passionate fans. And that's why we do it. We want to be able to bring these games to Barrie Colt fans, especially when a team is having such a successful season such as this.
Yeah, it's fun to do. And I know we're not hammered. We got this is the water bottles.
Yes, we are drinking water.
a lot. You get giddy, you get near the end of the season, and the regular season has been a ride. Another road trip, and checked into the hotel this afternoon. All good to go here, and head to Peterborough tomorrow before Saturday at home and wrapping it up. But it's always fun. Look, we've had a lot of fun doing these road broadcasts, and it's been great. I appreciate it. It's great to hear from fans, and that's what we're trying to do is give you a bit of hometown flavor on the road here. It's something. It's never happened in Barrie before, and I think Colts fans, have really taken it well, and it's something that we're looking to build to continue on.
And we also have Frontenacs fans who've been entering the chat, so I think it's fun that we get both Barrie and visiting fans taking part in the conversation. As Haid saying, thanks, Mike. Fantastic work. I've been a fan for 3 years. Keep it up. And Haid, one of those Kingston fans that's been tuning into the broadcast. Let me just keep going down here. We've got Tammy saying Barrie has to pick it up in the third to win it. Praying that the Bulldogs lose all 3 games from here. And I think there's quite a few Barrie fans that would like to see that happen.
Yeah, I think that's a bit wishful thinking, going on. But, look, I think obviously Barrie's sitting out, a few of their big guns tonight. And you got it, right? I mean, you're still 1 point behind. But Brantford, you got to figure they're going to clinch that, whether it's tonight or the next night. And, you got to take care of, your own roster first and, get some of these guys rested. And I think we'll see tomorrow night a different group taking a seat.
And Lee saying, so the Kingston Arena is the slush puppy place. Shows what I know. Last I heard, it was the K-Rock Center. Wow, I need to pay attention more. Yeah, that's the thing with corporate names on buildings. The names can change so fast because when they first built this arena, it was the K-Rock Center, and then it was the Leon Center, and now it's Slush Puppy Place. So it just keeps changing.
Lee and my navigation unit in my car,
Yeah.
right? My Bluetooth. No matter how many times I say directions to Slush Puppy Place, it doesn't know. Never heard of it. But you say K-Rocks, there we go.
See, this arena, it's a beautiful facility. If you ever get a chance to come to Kingston for a road game, it's worth it. The views here are fantastic. It's right downtown. There's so many places to explore, even just around the corner from the arena. It's a great community.
Great place to watch a hockey game. And, look, I mean, my experience here too, fans are great, right? We've talked to a lot of them in our travels here a few times this season. Then last year during the playoffs, well educated on the OHL, and it's just fun, right? It's fun, coming in here every night that the Colts play here and talk to the fans. But one of the nice rinks, and look, really, if you get time, you get the fortune to do a little bit of travel, seeing these different OHL rinks, this is one place you want to put on the map.
And I think Kingston deserves to host the Memorial Cup at some point. They've got the hotels. You've got the restaurants. It's a fun community. You've got the university town, the town vibes. They just need to fill this place on a more regular basis. But I think they could do a great job hosting the Memorial Cup here in Kingston.
Yeah, I love that they're bringing the draft here. It's been a live draft for the first time, and you're right. I think this community would do an outstanding job with the Memorial Cup.
And Liam saying they parked the Zambonis underneath you. It's the fumes.
It's the fumes, all right.
It's got to be the fumes here at the arena. But we're just getting ready to go for the third period of play as the players are right now on the ice. It's going to be a fun finish here between the Colts and the Frontenacs, as it's a 3-2 score after 40 minutes of play. And we'll see how the Barrie Colts respond. They do have the power play for 1:33. As right now, Dylan Smoskowitz having a conversation with one of the officials. And right now, we will make the color commentator switch. It's almost like a ballet with Josh McCann and Gene Pereira making the switch. I don't know if you heard that, but I just said it's like a ballet, your switch to what you two do.
I could do a ballet routine if we want.
Oh, no. I don't know if we're ready for that.
Not many people are.
Third period back underway. Colts on the power play. Here's Cole Baudouin. He's going to take it down low. Around the net he goes. Baudouin sends it back to the point. Picked up here by Salandra. Baudouin again in the corner. Sends it in front. Edgar back to Baudouin at the blue line. Aitchison. Hemming one-timer. Blocked by Bishop. Hemming in the corner. Back to Aitchison at the point. Over to Salandra. Salandra takes it in front. Hemming has a bounce off his skate. And the Frontenacs are able to get it out. Horevic quickly playing this one, trying to catch the Frontenacs on a line change. Eamon Edgar down low to Hemming. At the blue line, here's Kayshawn Aitchison. Across to Salandra. Waits, fires, and that's blocked in front. Hemming gets it in the corner. He's going to send it back to the blue line to Aitchison. Over to Salandra. Salandra down low. That pass deflected. Baudouin gets it in the corner. Cole Baudouin goes back to Aitchison. He'll ride the blue line. Sets up Baudouin. Fires. Stopped there by Betts. Didn't get all of that. Edgar's going to send it over to Baudouin. At the point, Aitchison up the middle. Sets up Hemming. One-timer scores! Emil Hemming on the power play. He ties it at 3. And that's going to be his second of the game.
Well, it wasn't perfect there for Emil Hemming. It did hit off of Gavin Betts and in, but as long as it goes into the back of the net, that'll do for the Barrie Colts. Baudouin gets it back to the point. Good job fighting off that pressure. And then Aitchison had room to step up. Fakes the shot, goes outside to Hemming. Betts got a piece of it, but was only able to slow it down so much. And the Barrie Colts have tied the game at 3 apiece.
Well, we'll have to just wait. They may take a look at this for maybe an offside. As they're having a conversation, Troy Mann right now on the headset with their video coach. So the linesmen are coming across. They're going to challenge this. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, we haven't seen an angle yet. Now,
Well,
Mike, I will say while we have a quick second and we don't see an angle, I know everyone's disappointed we're not trying food today. Maybe at the end of the game, I have some Sour Patch Kids gum in my bag if you wanted
you got Sour Patch gum?
Yeah, if you want to do a quick taste test of that. But
Okay, well, if we remember. But right now, we're just waiting for the review. And what I recall when they entered the zone, there was a lot of black sweaters making changes on the penalty kill unit, and there was a Barrie Colt player. It may have been Eamon Edgar trying to slide back to get to the blue line as the Colts were entering the zone. But I'm trying to see. We've got
Connor's beside us.
so we're trying to take a look. But from my angle, what I'm seeing, so they've got the overhead for the review that the video coaches can look at. But we'll have to wait and see. The linesman's still taking a look at it. But this is going to be, I think this could be close. We'll have to wait and see.
Just need him to look over for a second.
Well, we haven't seen any replays ourselves. Like, I can only kind of see the overhead. But obviously the linesmen, they're able to take a look to see if, in fact, the Barrie Colt player on that far side of the ice was able to come back to touch up in time. And if it is called back, they're going to have to figure out, okay, how much time was left? Because the Colts had momentum in the Kingston zone for some time before that puck went in the net.
This has taken a while, so they may be looking at time. I know you're a big fan of the long reviews.
They need to put a cap on it. You would start this conversation.
Well, tune in tomorrow for the schedule of complaints.
Why are you teasing that already?
We promised people.
We did. Okay, we mentioned that on the Oshawa broadcast, so that was probably coming. But we're still waiting to see if this is going to be a good goal. We've got all four officials right now looking at the tablet in the timekeeper's bench. From the angle I could see, it was hard to tell if it was onside or not.
Gene Pereira has tweeted out, I think this one might come back.
All right. So if Gene Pereira was able to see it, because he's sitting right now behind Connor.
Yeah.
He's got the better look than we do. But they are taking a very long look at this. So we'll have to wait and see.
Here, I'll text him.
You're going to text Gene?
What do you see? ?
We want the text play-by-play description of what you saw on Connor's laptop.
He's not on his phone.
You're trying to get it. He's on his phone. He's on his phone.
Now he's going, I think.
There we go. Yeah, because it's definitely the offside that they're reviewing. And this has been a long review. I need to start bringing a stopwatch.
Well, we do have one for the Rogers broadcast. Although, are they still using that, or I don't know.
They do use it from time to time. So then they'll tell in our ears, okay, how long has this review gone on for?
Yeah, I can't hear in the air anymore. So I hear
they took
you.
That away from you?
Well, no, but when I was on camera, I could hear them talking in the control room. And now that I'm downstairs, I can only hear you and Gene.
Okay, so we are going to get a decision here. And they're saying no goal. So it is coming back. So it is still a 3-2 hockey game. The Colt player on the other side was not able to get back in time. So now they have to go back to figure out, okay, what time was that offside?
In the words of Gene Pereira, it was real close.
All right. So
19
saying it was really close.
50 seconds left in the power play.
All right. So here we go. We'll continue this man advantage. So Emil Hemming will have to wait on getting that second goal of the game. But at least with that long review, everyone got a nice
breather.
And
yeah. Let's relax.
The top power play unit and the top penalty kill unit, they can stay out there.
Gene does also mention it was clearly offside. So
it was clearly
no
offside?
monkey business going on here.
Well, he's the one that was looking right behind us.
Yeah, he's right behind Connor.
He can see the whole thing. We're at a bit of a disadvantage.
Most useful thing he's done all year.
You better hope you didn't hear that.
You're blocking me from him. So.
There we go. So it's now 45 seconds to work with still in the power play here for the Barrie Colts as they put some additional time on the board. Emil Hemming has it now. He'll skate through the neutral zone. Hemming to Salandra, trying to go across. That pass is picked off, and the Frontenacs will send that down the length of the ice. Hrebeck at the side of his net, leaves it there for Kayshawn Aitchison. Aitchison's just going to skate this one ahead. Reaches center ice, looks back. Here's Hemming. Hemming skates it in for the Colts. His pass off the skate of Durbin, and that's going to roll to the net. And Betts will cover it up with 14 seconds remaining in the man advantage.
For Barrie, obviously a tough one there. You get the goal disallowed, got to reset. Still 18:40 to go, plenty of time to try and get things back going here. Not really the second year, the third line's going to come out here now with 14 seconds left in the power play.
Face off to the left of Gavin Betts. Face off won by the Colts. Aitchison at the point. Takes the shots, and Betts through the crowd, able to get a glove on it, as now it's just 8 seconds remaining in the penalty to Mondo.
Kingston, they're very disciplined. It's not often they take penalties, but when they do have a penalty kill that kills off a lot of those penalties. So it's pretty tough to win games via the power play against this Frontenacs team.
France will win the face-off and send it behind the net. They're going to quickly put it down the ice, and that will do it for the power play. So the Barrie Colts now 0 for 2 on the man advantage. They had that one goal disallowed due to being offside. So the Colts, they move it up. That's sent into the zone. Betts trying to get a stick on it. That goes wide of the net. Schneid collecting it here for Barrie. That pass picked off, and skating this one out is Kieran Durbin. Durbin hits the brakes. His pass, that got away from him, and that's going to escape the zone. Williamson dumps it back in. Hrebeck will leave it there for Salandra. Or actually make that Justin Hanser. Hanser skates this one up. He'll pass this one over to Crombie. Crombie through center. That's knocked away by Durbin, and he'll take it here for Kingston. Durbin up to McLean. He's going to dump it in. Back to pick it up is Emerton. Well, Emerton, his pass goes off a skate. Ends up sitting in front of Hrebeck. Emerton, he'll play it up the boards. Wilmot can't get to it. Williamson sends it across. Crombie knocks it into the Kingston zone. Henderson's going to come back to play it. Henderson fanned on it. Wilmot ties him up, trying to kick that one away. Frontenacs still with possession. Williamson back behind his own net. He's being chased by Wilmot. Gets it out. Hanser knocks it down at center. Up to Newton. Jaden Newton on the wing. Gets by Durbin in front. Sementsov. That one went off the heel of his stick. And then Hanser tried to deliver the hit on right. That puck's going to sail back into the Barrie zone. Wilmot sends this one ahead. Here's Justin Hanser. Hanser's got Sementsov going to the net, and he couldn't get there in time. Kuhlman comes up with it now for Kingston. He'll put this one across. Here's Lucas Moore. Moore sent that one ahead. Now it ends up in the corner. Moore will get to it himself. Sementsov throws the hit, picked up there by Vader. Vader turned it over. Mondo shot from the point. And Hrebeck gets the glove on it, and he's going to hold on.
Did just look up the out-of-town scoreboard. The Brantford Bulldogs have taken a 3-1 lead on the Ice Dogs. Adam Juracek with a goal with 13 minutes to go, so they're one step closer to clinching that 1 seed. And if both scores hold right now, Barrie and Niagara would be a guarantee round 1.
So the scoreboard watching continues as we're starting to get more clarity when it comes to the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. As we are now a week tomorrow will be game 1 for the Barrie Colts.
It's crazy. Only 1 matchup's decided right now, but a couple of minutes, it could be all 4 matchups decided.
It could be. Puck goes deep into the Kingston zone. Back to play will be Mondo. He'll have it in the corner. Sends this one back to Moore. Moore from the near side, sends it up the wing. Snyder collects it here for Kingston. That's center. His backhand pass misses. That's going to go deep. Hrebeck behind his own net to play it. Sends this one around. Here's Eamon Edgar. Edgar skates this one out to center. He'll dump it in. Puck goes wide of the net. Desiderio gives chase. McGowan, he's taken down and crashes hard into the boards. The Frontenacs, they take exception. They pounce on top of Desiderio. As we get a bit of a crowd here, that's the last thing Kingston wants to see is Malik McGowan going down with injury. As McGowan still down on the ice, as is Desiderio. As Malik McGowan, he crashed heavily into the end boards.
And not good to see. Desiderio still down as well. He took a few shots from, I think it was Williamson, who may end up getting a penalty as well here on the play. And Desiderio still down. It looked like the two of them were tied up and then kind of fell down awkwardly together with Desiderio sending McGowan into the boards. And then After that, Williamson went after Desiderio, and everyone else was tied up. So Williamson had a couple of free shots at him, and it's where the second penalty is going to come from. McCowan now heading off to the bench with no assistance, so that's good to see.
Yeah, got a good cheer from the crowd here at the Slush Puppy place. McGowan looked to be okay. We saw that last year in the playoffs where McGowan got hurt in game 1 of that best-of-7 series between Barrie and Kingston, and it made a difference not having McGowan on the ice for the Kingston Frontenacs in that series. So they want to help you, McGowan, especially as they prepare to potentially face Ottawa in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, he scored the opening goal of the series as well. We're going to get a review here on the Desiderio hit, it looks like, as well. But he scored the opening goal, and then the next shift, Aitchison laid a big hit, and we didn't see him again. Had a shoulder injury, got knocked out of the playoffs, which was unfortunate to see. And obviously for the Kingston Frontenacs could have changed the complexion of the series. They had to give the iPad back because they didn't have the password in.
They didn't have the password?
The guy had to put the password in.
Oh, you got to love technology. But they are taking a look at this after Desiderio took down Malik McGowan. So they've got the 5-minute major on the board, and they always do this just to make sure, because you want to make sure you get this penalty right. So they could reduce it here depending on what they see.
Yeah, it's hard. It was kind of hard to tell from.
It was definitely a trip.
Definitely a trip, and obviously the hard impact with the boards afterwards. You just want to make sure it's nothing too much worse than that. And we'll have to see. Looked like the two of them were battling, and then Desiderio took him down, went down to the ice with him, and
well, they're taking another long look at this one. It's now 2 reviews this period. First, the disallowed goal for Hemming at the start of the period on the power play, and now with Desiderio taking down Malik McGowan.
My bad.
You're going to take blame for this?
I'll take the fall.
Oh, I'm glad someone is.
Looney dogs.
You just got distracted by food.
Well, we don't have any angles. That's all that's there.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So if you're in the Kingston area on Friday,
there's Looney Dogs.
Yeah, they're taking on the Peterborough Petes.
Huh.
Looney Dog night.
Who we get to see tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see who's all in the lineup on the Barrie side. Peterborough's still got home ice to play for as of right now. So
next, they're 2 points up on North Bay right now for the home ice advantage in that series, the 4 and 5 matchup.
You know what, the trade deadline, I thought it was pretty obvious who the 2 4 seeds were going to be, but credit to North Bay and London. They've really made it a race here down the stretch, especially those nights. They've really turned it on after selling at the deadline. North Bay, of course, they did actually buy, but for London, they sell off. Sam O'Reilly, Jared Woolley, Ben Wilmot, Julian Brown, all out the door.
Well, right now, the London Knights, they're up 6-2 on the Guelph Storm. So they're going to get an important 2 points. But Sault Ste. Marie, they've tied their game with Saginaw. And that's early in the third period. Because right now, Sault Ste. Marie, 1 point ahead of London in that 4-5 matchup in the Western Conference. As right now, we're still waiting for a determination on the 5-minute major they posted on Nicholas Desiderio. He took down Malik McGowan in the corner. It was clearly a trip as they were both chasing after the puck. McGowan was able to skate off under his own power. He crashed heavily into the end boards. And also in the penalty box is Van Williamson as he went after Desiderio after the trip. So he's got the roughing penalty. They got 2 minutes on the board for him. So right now it'll be a 4-on-4 situation for 2 minutes. And then Kingston will get the power play if this holds. So they put away the tablet, and Desiderio is going to stay in the penalty box from the looks of it. So we'll have to wait and see how this all gets figured out. They've taken the 5 minutes off the board for Desiderio. So it's not a 5-minute major. So we know that much.
It's a 2 now.
All right, so it's 2 minutes for tripping on Desiderio, and the fans here in Kingston do not agree with it. But that's what they're going to put up. So it's a 4-on-4 situation now. So a lot of room on the ice here for these two teams.
Now we're having the discussion again. McGowan's got to go off the ice.
Oh, this is like the Cole
It
Beaudoin
happened again.
situation.
It's happened again.
Well, if you missed it, at the end of the second period, Cole Beaudoin took a high stick and was down on the ice for a little bit, but when he came on the ice, the referees sent him back.
Was it the one guy saw fighting with one arm? Mighty
Yeah.
Python?
Yeah, that's when we talked about, well, Beaudoin will play even if he lost a limb. So it's a 4-on-4 situation. Cole Beaudoin skates it in here for the Colts. Gets around Mondeau. Puck goes behind the net. Beaudoin still with it. To the corner, goes to Aitchison. Trying to go back to Beaudoin. That went off Bishop. Mondeau gets it in the corner. He's going to send this one around. Here's Emil Hemming. Hemming has it in his skates. Trying to keep it there. Taken there by Bishop. Durbin. He'll peel back here for the Frontenacs. Sets up behind the net. 1:22 left in the 4-on-4 situation. Mondeau coming up from behind the net. Both teams are making changes. Andre Mondeau up to Bishop. He'll skate this one in. Hits the brakes. Bishop's pass blocked by Wilmot. Colts set it back the other way. That's out of the reach of Aitchison. And that's going to roll on net. And Betts will hold on to it with 1:04 left in the 4-on-4.
Well, Bishop's having to block Mondo off there from Aitchison, who gave a little love tap to the stick of Gavin Betts at the end there. But obviously, Van Williamson, the Kingston captain, I know you want to defend your teammate after a play like that, but goes a bit too far, gets the penalty, and now costs his team a power play opportunity to extend the lead. And Barrie has a chance here now, 4-on-4, to potentially tie the game going forward.
Face off to the right of Betts, won by Kingston. Bishop sends it behind the net. Mondeau will skate it out here for the Frontenacs. Mondeau sends it up to Mishiak. Mishiak takes a bump there from Wilmot. Mishiak lost it at the blue line. That's poked away by Salandra. Henderson will take it back behind his own net. Coming up behind the goal is Matthew Henderson. He'll set up McGowan. Good to see McGowan back on the ice. McGowan runs over Emerton as the puck goes to the corner. Vader chips this one around the boards. Paul Bazal. He'll collect it, takes it out to center ice, trying to keep it away from Wilmot. Paul Bazal takes a bump there from Salandra over to McGowan. McGowan on the wing, takes the shot. That's going to go wide of the net. Mishiak on the near side, back to the blue line, Henderson. Henderson rides the line, passes it up to McGowan. McGowan to the net, backhand, stopped by Harebic. Puck rolls past the net. Teague Vader comes up with it now for the Colts. He's going to skate this one out. The penalized player is about to come on the ice. Here's Vader down low, passes it in front, but that doesn't connect. Into the corner it goes to Henderson, and both Desiderio and Williamson are out of the box. So back to 5-on-5 hockey with 13 and a half minutes left in this hockey game. Henderson goes to Moore. Moore's pass off a skate. Hanser gets it inside the blue line. Trying to get it out. Wright was in the way. Crombie out to center. He'll skate this one in. Calvin Crombie has it knocked away. Good stick work there by Mondo. Puck's behind the Kingston net. In front. Lowe couldn't get there in time. Here's Schneid. Schneid trying to settle it down. Up to Lowe. It's bouncing, and the Colts can't get to it. Landon Wright takes a hard hit there from Lowe. Puck kept in by Schneid. That's going to go back into the corner. Kingston player falls. Stepped on the stick of Crombie. Play continues. Battle in the corner. Lowe trying to dig this one free. Continue to dig for it. Moore can't get it out. Kept in by Hanser. Here's Schneid. His shot on net, but Betts sees that one all the way. And he'll hold on for the faceoff with 12:46 left to go as the Barrie Colts right now down by 1.
Well, nice shift there for the third line. The puck was moving around like it was in a pinball machine, but they nearly got a couple looks. Schneid was able to get it free for one, and then Carter Lowe, a nice behind-the-back pass looking for Crombie, but puck kept deflecting around, and Barrie just getting some pressure. They're getting outshot 23-14 tonight. So get some more opportunities at the net. They'll have a shot here.
And we have seen this most of the season here where the Barrie Colts suddenly like to turn it on in the third period. In Oshawa, they were down by 2 late in that one, and suddenly a shorthanded goal from Parker Von Richter gave them that surge to tie it and force overtime. So this is not unfamiliar territory here for the Barrie Colts, but you really can't keep playing like this against your opponent.
Yeah, you got to play a bit better. And going into tomorrow, you're not playing a team in the bottom half of the standings. You're playing a Peterborough Pete's team with a lot of offense to them. You're going to only put up 14 shots by this point. Peterborough's going to have about 30 shots on you.
Frontenacs trying to get it out of the zone. They will. That's going to go down the length of the ice. And that's an icing call against Kingston, so they're going to bring this one back.
And of course, Niagara on Saturday. 2 straight years the season ends with the Ice Dogs. Be interested to see how many players are in the lineup for that one. Barrie sat half their team last year and won 7-1.
That was like the playoff preview, and then everything just went sideways with the Niagara Ice Dogs with their off-ice antics. This season, it seems like things have kind of settled for Niagara, so hopefully we don't have that drama this year if it is, in fact, a Barrie-Niagara meeting, as that shot goes wide of the net. Sementsov after it. He'll get this to the line, not out. That's batted down. Now it's out to center. Bishop's pass blocked by Newton. Puck goes to the far side. Frontenacs dump it in. Aitchison back behind his own net. He'll send this one forward. Sementsov quickly to Beaudoin. Cole Beaudoin charging in. Leaves it for Sementsov. Sementsov knocked down by Frost. Frontenacs move it up. Here's Butter. He'll enter the zone on the wing. Leaves it for Williamson. Back to Butter. His shot blocked by Aitchison. Cole Beaudoin. He'll pick it up here for the Colts. Chases it through center. Beaudoin on the wing. Takes the shot. That's blocked by McGowan. Vader comes off the point to keep it down low. Beaudoin behind the Kingston net. Cole Beaudoin has that one poked away by Williamson. Kuhlman up to Butter. He'll skate this one out. Nolan Butter dumps this one in. Kuhlman reaching for it. Emerton gets a stick on it. He ends up falling on top of it. Vader's trying to knock this one free. 11:20 left to go. Emerton still down on the ice. Now it's free. Moore, though, has it bounce over a stick and down the ice. Betts comes out of his net to play it. He'll send it up the middle. Knocked down there by Snyder. Snyder skates it in now for the Frontenacs on the wing. Snyder around the Barrie net in front, but Kuzma couldn't get to it. Colts get it out to center. Trying to force this one ahead is Hanser. He'll dump this one in. Betts behind the net. Facing pressure there from Hemming. Hemming takes it away behind the net in front, but Schneid couldn't get a stick on it. Still loose. Schneid digs it free. Back to Hanser. Justin Hanser trying to send it around the boards. Kuhlman's there for Kingston. Puck's batted into the air. Behind the Kingston net. Colts can't get to it. Mondo passes it up. Loose puck taken again by the Colts. In front, but that's stolen by Kuhlman. Kuhlman will skate this one up. Here is Snyder on the wing. Snyder skates this one in. Hits the brakes. Looks over his shoulder. Takes a hard hit there from Crombie. Pobajal after it. Loose puck picked up by the Colts. Armstrong loses it. Shot stopped by Revick. Nice save there from the Colts goaltender. Now it's Crombie the other way for the Colts. Here's Calvin Crombie trying to go between the defense, and then he's knocked over. Bishop loses it. Henderson will find it in front of the net. He's going to skate this one forward. Henderson with speed in the attacking zone, and his shot on net held on to there by Ben Horevic as we pass the midway point of the third.
Well, nice play there by Snyder, getting it around. Ethan Armstrong nearly set up a chance for the Frontenacs. Horevic's able to make the save, and then big rebound. Puck goes back the other way. 3-on-2 for Barrie. Crombie nearly able to get through the defense there and set up a breakaway, but good job by Kingston shutting him down and negating that opportunity, and the puck comes back the other way.
So face off here to the right of Ben Horevic. Jaden Newton's going to take the draw against Pobajal. Face off won by the Colts. Aitchison comes from behind the net. He's going to send this up the ice. Salander, though, nearly got a stick on it, but apparently he was offside. The linesman was right in his ear, letting him know he was offside.
Newton didn't realize that Slander had to give him a go back,
go back, go back. Into the Barrie zone. It's Mishiak in front, stopped by Horevic. Newton loses it. Horebic's going to bat that one around the boards. Aitchison trying to get a stick on it. Along the boards it goes. Kept in at the point. Henderson turned over to McCormick. McCormick trying to get it out. He will. Was being stick checked there by Dever. Passmore sends this one around the boards. McCormick picks it up here for the Colts. Jonah McCormick through the neutral zone. Skates this one in. Takes the shot. Stopped by Betts. Puck goes to the corner right. Sends it around. Bishop there to pick it up for Kingston. Will Bishop puts it off the glass and out to center. Knocked down there by Emerton. Puck comes to the near side. After it there is Durbin, and he is rocked by McCormick. Jonah McCormick with a huge hit. Devers okay. Play continues. Here's Cole Emerton. Emerton carrying it in here for the Colts. Takes the shot. Stopped by Betts. Kind of handcuffed him, but he's able to cover it up. And then Desiderio getting some attention here is McGowan going right after him. As remember, those two had a meeting earlier this period, but nothing more will come of this.
Williamson and Edgar getting involved there as well. Big hit by Jonah McCormick in the neutral zone on Durbin. Of course, McCormick, a Kingston native, so this is his hometown game. And Dylan Smoskowitz doing what he likes to do, start the hometown guy on the first shift of the game. We saw with Eamon Edgar and Windsor. Got to see it again tonight with Jonah McCormick in the second line.
Definitely a nice touch, just with the local connection. And right now, the Colts just trying to get back into this hockey game. They tied it at 3 on a power play goal from Hemming, which was disallowed. There's a quick shot by Sementsov, but a nice save by Betts. We'll do this face-off again. But the Colts were close to tying this one up. They had a goal disallowed by Hemming because it was offside early in this period.
Of course, Barrie kept going here through this period. They're getting some more opportunities as the period goes on, and seems like the game kind of opening up a bit here in the middle part of the third period.
Face-off one by the Frontenacs. They get it out to center quickly. Dever follows it up. Getting a stick on it there is Desiderio. Puck goes onto the bench and out of play, so we'll get a whistle here as we're now down to 8:29 remaining. So right now they're having some words. Nicholas Desiderio again in the middle of it as he's having a conversation with Matthew Frost, but nothing more will come of that.
Well, Mike Desiderio's having a good little stretch here, getting under the opposing team's skin, playing good on the forecheck as well.
And we can confirm the Brantford Bulldogs have won 5-2 over the Niagara Ice Dogs tonight. So that means the Barrie Colts have clinched the second seed in the Eastern Conference. So the Barrie Colts know where they're going to finish. They just need to figure out, okay, is it going to be Kingston or Niagara in the first round? And with the Ice Dogs losing, they remain 2 points back of Kingston.
Barrie's play down the stretch here over the final couple days is basically going to decide who they play.
Puck rolls on net. Betts is going to cover it up. Now he gets a pushing and shoving. As Desiderio again in the thick of it. It's kind of getting under the skin of the Kingston players here.
Well, Mason Zabeski's not in the lineup, so someone else has got to do it. And Desiderio doing a good job taking on that role a bit here. And he's kind of is in his spot. He's the second line left wing, although Dylan Smoskowitz has switched up the lines a bit. Desiderio out there with Sementsov and Edgar right now.
So I said 2 points. It's actually 3 points separating Kingston and Niagara. So
it could get up to 5, and that would be...
Yeah, so if the Frontenacs win this game, then it will be Barrie Niagara in the first round of the playoffs. So that's where we're at now with Brantford winning in regulation against Niagara this evening. So the scoreboard watching has wrapped up. Now it all depends on this game as Hemming can't keep it in the zone. Puck will come out to center ice. Hemming and his own blue line drops it back to Passmore. Passmore back to Hemming. Emil Hemming across to Kayshawn Aitchison. Aitchison will skate it in. Sends it to the nets. And pouncing on that will be Betts. And we'll get a face-off now with 7:36 remaining.
Now 2 games to go for both Kingston and Niagara after this game. And for Kingston, they have 3 more regulation overtime wins than Niagara. So even an overtime loss here tonight from Kingston would get them that 6th seed officially.
So all they need is a point.
Yeah. Set us up for a couple division rivalries in the 2-7 and 3-6.
Well, it's quite remarkable. Jim Gilchrist, in the interview we did in the second intermission, brought it up that Kingston and Ottawa haven't met in the playoffs since 1981.
Came in the media room 20 minutes later and was telling people.
Was he?
He's like, that wasn't even the Frontenacs. That was the Kingston Canadians.
Yeah, that's going back. And that was the year, because I did the OHL history series in the summer. The Kingston Canadians went all the way to the semifinal that year.
I knew that too.
You're welcome. Colts keeping it in the offensive end. Aitchison fires, and that's blocked in front. Puck bouncing. Mishiak trying to get it out. He will. Ends up in center. Hanser patted this one back. Here's Williamson. Up the wing. Tipped into the zone by Pobajal. Puck's going to go deep. Aitchison sends this one around. Hanser there to pick it up for the Colts. picked off there by Mishiak, blocked by Crombie. Crombie flips this one out to center ice. Bishop has that one bounce by him. He's going to come back to pick it up for the Frontenacs, as we're now down to 6.5 minutes remaining. Henderson behind his own net. He'll move this one up to Bishop. Bishop up the wing. Snyder got a stick on it, so no icing. That's going to end up behind the Barrie net. Harevik out to play it. Calvin Crombie flips it forward. That's out to center. Bishop sends it across. Delayed offside here against Kingston. Ethan Armstrong will pick it up now for the Colts. Armstrong at the side of his own net. We'll leave it there for Justin Hanser. Hanser to Armstrong. Across to Schneid. Schneid carrying it in, goes to Crombie. Calvin Crombie backhand, and that's going to go wide of the net. Armstrong keeping it down low. Crombie along the boards. That's taken away by the Frontenacs. Kuhlman gets it out. That pass behind Snyder. He's able to recover, but dumps it in. Carter Lowe doesn't get a stick on it. Armstrong sends it around. There's Kuhlman in the corner. Armstrong does that one go in the air. Hanser comes up with it. He'll pass this one up to Carter Lowe. Lowe through the neutral zone. He'll dump this one into the far side. After it is Mondo. Mondo behind the net. He's tied up by Schneid. Frontenacs trying to recover. Picked up there by Moore. Schneid's there. Battle ensues. In front. Sementsov gets it. And he can't hold on to it. It's taken by Kuhlman, and the Frontenacs get it out. Teague Vader back to pick it up here for the Barrie Colts. Vader with some speed reaches center ice. He'll dump this one in. Moore. He got in the way of it. Puck rolls to the corner. Lucas Moore gets it again here for the Frontenacs. Up the wing. That's deflected. Emerton over to Vader. Vader to Sementsov. Butter, though, took that one away. Puck sent in the air. Puck's at center ice. Newton's going to dump it in. Mondo with it. He'll just take it back behind his own net. Time slowly fading away here for the Barrie Colts. They're still down by one. It's a 3-2 score. Clark sends it into the Barrie zone. Emerton back to play it. Shots right now 26-19 for Kingston. They've been leading on that shot clock all night long. As Vader reaches center. He's going to send this one in, and that's going to be icing against the Colts. With 4:18 now left to go in the third period, 3-2 Kingston.
Vader just trying to play that one off the boards and hoping Sementsov is able to get a touch on that one, but just missed by a little bit there. Now face-off will go back down the other way. Barrie will have the benefit of the TV timeout to slow things down, and then it's getting the go time, 4:18 to go. It's been a little bit since Bodo and Hemming and Wilmot have been out there, so they're pretty rested coming into these final minutes here.
Well, with the playoffs on the horizon, and we even talked about it with Dylan Smoskowitz in the coach's corner and how it's load management right now. They want to get ready for the playoffs. You know that you're finishing second. I don't know if they know that Brantford's won already or not, but you kind of got that sense when you don't have Zabeski, Von Richter, Eliasson in the lineup here tonight. You get the sense that it's, okay, let's get through these 3 games. You know, do the best. You want to win the day still, but right now the focus, I feel, is the playoffs right now for the Barrie Colts.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, you were 5 points back with 3 games to go. I think everyone knew you probably weren't getting the first seed, but it was still just kind of there. So you just move on and keep trying to get some other guys in the lineup, like that guy right there, Alexander Sementsov.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of Sementsov, especially in this third period as the Frontenacs skated in. McLean, he's going to send this one to the corner. Aitchison, that's blocked in front, but not able to get a stick on it. In front was Alex McLean. Williamson back to play it in his own zone, takes it behind the net. Around the boards it goes, right? Has someone go off his skate. That's going to escape the zone. Passmore's there to put it right back into the Kingston zone. Betts behind the net, gives it up to McGowan. Malik McGowan will pass it up to Durbin. Here's Wright. Landon Wright carrying it in. A couple of bumps there from Aitchison. Puck goes behind the net. Cole Baudouin, backhand pass. That's deflected. So it won't be icing as that goes down the ice. McGowan there to pick it up. Malik McGowan up ahead to Mishiak. Alex Mishiak gets by Aitchison. Puck goes to the corner. Mishiak avoids the hit from Aitchison, but he gave it up to the defenseman. Frontenacs keep it in play. Rolls to the net. Harevik just lets it go. Hanser out to center. Wilmot bats this one ahead. Mondo backtracking here for Kingston. Goes to Bishop up the wing. Dever to Mishiak, carrying it in. Paul Bajal to the net in front. What a save! He made that save! Ben Hrebeck, highway robbery. As that puck just went right into his glove from Jack Dever. That was insane.
Well, at the end of the year, if the OHL is choosing a save of the year, Ben Hrebeck's probably got 5 nominations. What a save by Hrebeck. I mean,
that was insane.
He was wide open. I just looked at the game. The Frontenacs TV broadcast put up the goal signal, like the goal graphics.
Yeah.
I figured it went in. How did he do that? The game saver. 1 goal game, 2:47 to go, and the Colts still have a chance thanks to Hrebeck.
Well, Ben Hrebeck hasn't packed it in yet. He's still playing. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, there's a buzz in the air now with that save. Puck goes deep. Mondo loses it to Schneid. Schneid sending it back to the point for Passmore. Winds up. Ace shot wide of the net. Hanser comes off the point. That goes into the corner. Snyder trying to get a stick on it. Gets to the line, not out. Kept in by Crombie. Calvin Crombie. Into the slot. Schneid fires. Stopped by Betts. And he's going to hold on with 2:13 remaining.
Well, the Colts and Frontenacs, 4 games this year. 4 pretty tight ones. They've all been close. Barrie kind of pulled away late in the most recent meeting at the Sadlin Arena. But outside of that, these 2 teams have gone back and forth and given us 4 great games to watch this season. And this one no different. 1-goal game, 2:13 to go here.
So we'll keep an eye on Ben Hrebeck, see when he goes for the extra attacker. I'm sure Dylan Smoskowitz will keep him in there for at least the next 45 seconds. Face-off won by the Colts. They send it back to the line. Emerton, near side for Aitchison. Aitchison fires. That goes off Hemming in front. Durbin in the corner. Colts are trying to move it around. Salandra's tying up his man. Trying to dig it free as Hemming. Beaudoin's knocked down. Puck comes back to the point. Frontenacs get it out. Kayshawn Aitchison back to pick it up inside his own blue line. Across to Emerton. 1:45 remaining. Hrebeck's looking to the bench. Aitchison, though, loses it to Pobazal. Aitchison, he's able to recover. It's the breaks, up to Beaudoin. Cole Beaudoin will skate it up. Hrebeck heading to the bench for the extra attacker, so it's a 6-on-5. Kingston gets it out. Carter Lowe, the player that comes off the bench. Cole Emerton receives the pass. Up the wing, tipped into the zone there by Aitchison. Betts out of his net. They'll send this one around. At the point, Emerton fires, and that goes wide. Carter Lowe couldn't get a stick on it. Frontenacs get it out and down the ice. Icing's waved off. Cole Emerton there to play it. He'll chip this one up to Hemming. Emil Hemming, he'll skate this one to center. Cole Beaudoin receives the pass. Beaudoin on the wing. We're in the final minute of the third period. Colts have the extra attacker on the ice. Kayshawn Aitchison at the point. Near side to Hemming. Emil Hemming down low. Salandra to Hemming. Emerton. Aitchison one-timer, and that hit the crossbar. And that went out of play as Kayshawn Aitchison with the cannon strikes iron.
Oh, Aitchison coming close there to tying the game. Going to get a timeout on the Barrie side of things to rest and regroup. And presumably the same 6 will go back out there. Carter Lowe obviously out there to be the net front presence for Dylan Smoskowitz. A great look there. Salandra working it back to the point and then Hemming across for the one-timer. Betts may have got a piece of it and keeps the Frontenacs out in front.
Well, there's 2 New York Islander fans sitting front row to the left of the Barrie Colts bench. And you should have seen their reaction when Aitchison launched that one. Because obviously with Kayshawn Aitchison signing that entry-level contract with the Islanders, a lot of those fans are excited, and 2 of them made the trip here to Kingston.
You think they're from here? Or
I don't know.
Where do you think they came from?
Well, we're not far from the border into New York State.
That's true.
Because you just cross the St. Lawrence River and you're in New York.
It's true.
There's some islands there. So maybe they live on one of those islands.
Maybe they went up. They're an islander.
They're legit islanders.
They're islanders.
I can't confirm that that's the case. I'm just
speculating.
Speculation. Face off to the left of Betts. 43 seconds left to go in the hockey game. Barrie down by 1. They win the face off. Emerton to Hemming. He dove to keep that one in play, but the Frontenacs get it out. Here's Dever backhand, and that's going to go wide of the open cage. Emerton back. It's in the blue paint, and Dever gets a stick on it as Joe Salandra lost it in front of the nets, and that will do it as the Kingston Frontenacs are up 4-2.
Off the Colts there, Emerton didn't get all the pass across to Hemming, tried to dive out to save the play, but lost it, goes back the other way. It was a 3-on-1. Frontenacs tried to dump it in, and then it hit off the side and then came out in front. Got past Emerton, through the legs of Salandra. Not a lot of a chance there for him to turn around and block it off, and Kingston's going to take this game and clinch the 6th seed.
So with that empty net goal, it's 4-2, and like you said, they clinched the 6th seed, which means the Barrie Colts have a first-round date with the Niagara Ice Dogs as Armstrong, he is dumped in the corner. Play continues. 17 seconds left. Another chance. Stopped by Harebic as he'll hold on to that one. But now for the Barrie Colts, you know who your opponent's going to be. It's a rematch of last year's first round between Barrie and Niagara.
And I think that's the matchup. Personally, at least I'd rather, if I was the Barrie Colts. I mean, you see Kingston tonight. They're a defensive team. They'll shut you down. Even when they have a tough game, they're going to keep it close on you, make it a 3-2, 4-2 game. And, on the other side with Niagara, Barrie, they may have to give up some goals, but they're going to get their looks. They're going to get their chances. And the offensive weapons are going to be able to run free.
Face-off won by the Colts. Puck goes behind the net. Here's Ethan Armstrong. Sends this one ahead. Down the ice it goes. Moore back to play it. But that will do it. 2 seconds left. There's the horn, and the Kingston Frontenacs win this one by a final score of 4-2, and they clinch the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference standings.
Well, first win of the year against the Barrie Colts this season. And for Barrie, obviously, you don't want to lose, but at the end of the day, it's, you're trying to rest guys and bit of a different lineup. Obviously, like we've talked about multiple times this year, when they're on 3-3, when there's guys out of the lineup, no excuses, especially with the talent they have. And at the end of the night, the Frontenacs put in a good effort tonight. They were the better team from minute number 1 of the game to minute number 60, and that led them to a win. And we've said a couple times, but if the Ottawa 67s walk into that playoff series thinking it's a pushover, they're going to find out really quickly.
Yeah, this Kingston Frontenacs team now on a 6-game winning streak. They've been playing some outstanding hockey. And the other thing that stands out for Kingston, they're getting healthy. And this is one of the healthiest lineups they've had in quite some time. And yeah, as you mentioned, that series is not going to be a walk in the park for the Ottawa 67s between Ottawa and Kingston. I feel as though Kingston, they're that one team that could be a dark horse in the Eastern Conference. When they've got coaching like this from Troy Mann and their defensive discipline, they're going to be a tough out. But for the Barrie Colts, you now move on. You get ready to play the Peterborough Petes tomorrow night in a game that doesn't mean much on the game itself. The Petes, they're trying to hold off North Bay, but now this is just a tune-up, rest up, and get ready for the postseason.
Yeah, it's kind of an awkward scenario for Barrie tomorrow because Peterborough, they're going to want home ice. They're one of the best home teams in the OHL, so the longer they can have home ice, the better. And it's going to be an interesting matchup tomorrow. Barrie's going to have to bring their A game if they want to beat the Peterborough Petes. But like you mentioned, at the end of the day, it's two teams in kind of a different situation. No excuses, but for the Barrie Colts, it's going to be a tough task ahead of them tomorrow, especially Easton Ryan net. It's not going to be a pushover for the Colts.
Now, I'm going to be curious to talk to you, Dylan Smoskowitz, tomorrow, because in our coach's corner, he was talking about how he had his favorite suit was in the dry cleaners before the game in Oshawa, and then they had the Gatorade dumped on it, and it had to go back to the dry cleaners, and he's very superstitious. So now that he's lost with this suit, I don't know if we're going to see the suit for a while.
That suit's going to go away. We're going to have to replay the game and see the suit he's wearing and keep an eye on. New segment, Suit Watch.
Yeah,
we'll find a sponsor for that.
I'm going to have to ask him that tomorrow. that question's going to have
He's
to
going to ask you about the coffee earlier today. So
I was setting things up. Anyways, we're just waiting for the 3 stars here from the Slush Puppy place. But, all in all, very impressive game here for the Kingston Frontenacs. They controlled this game basically from the start. But with some good play there by the fourth line. Eamon Edgar, I felt, solid game again. He's kind of that player that just plays a lot like a Bo Jelsma type, where he's a go, go, go. He's going to the net. Had a great look on the power play. I think it was in the second period. Puck hit the crossbar, but still, I feel like he's a player that really stood out here tonight.
Yeah, he had another good game. Alexander Sementsov, you could tell he hasn't played much in the OHL yet, but you could also see at moments as well that eventually that guy's going to be a player in this league. That trio of him, Salandra, and Edgar could be the future of this Barrie Colts team going into next season. And for Eamon Edgar, we talked about the Colts not having a lot on the line. Still a lot on the line for a guy like Eamon Edgar. I mean, him, Desiderio, and Jonah McCormick in the lineup tonight, they're probably 11, 12, 13 right now for the Barrie Colts. Jaden Newton's obviously going to play in the postseason. And for those other 3 guys, it's about proving to Dylan Smoskowitz you're one of the starting 12 going into game 1 against the Ice Dogs. Good game by Edgar. Desiderio was strong on the forecheck, laying some big hits. We saw Jonah McCormick with a couple big hits as well. So all 3 of those guys looking to put in a good effort down the stretch here. Try and prove to Dylan Smoskowitz they should be in the lineup game 1.
All right, so we have the 3 stars. We didn't have to wait as long as we did in Oshawa. So your 3 stars presented by Craighurst Crossing by Georgian Communities. New homes, minutes from North Barrie, where inspired living meets small town charm. Your 3rd star tonight from the Barrie Colts is Cole Baudouin, a goal and an assist. He's a player that just doesn't like to lose. He was battling hard. Alex McLean, he's your 2nd star from the Kingston Frontenacs. He had a goal in this one. And your 1st star, Kieran Durbin, a goal and an assist. But what a solid game here from the Kingston Frontenacs. And no surprise, Durbin getting the 1st star here.
Yeah, he had a strong game. Got that 2nd goal for Kingston that tied it and kind of flipped that switch. I mean, Barrie gets that early goal in the period by Ben Wilmot, and maybe that was a point where they could start to take over, but no, they run into some penalty issues. The first one wasn't a power play goal, but it was just after the penalty expired. Then they followed up with a power play, and Alex McLean is able to get the power play goal for the Frontenacs. So at the end of the night, Barrie, Kingston, it was a good game, and the Kingston Frontenacs, though, they were the better team tonight, and that reflected on the scoreboard.
Yep, so the Barrie Colts, just 2 more games left on the regular season schedule, and the next game tomorrow night from the Peterborough Memorial Center. We will have that broadcast for you here on the channel, so make sure you click subscribe so you're notified when the live stream gets underway. It's a 7 o'clock puck drop from the PMC, so the live stream chat will get underway at 5:45, and that's our last road broadcast of the 25-26 regular season. It's gone by fast.
It's gone by so quick. It feels like just yesterday you were messaging me saying, hey, there's a preseason game on Monday. Want to test out the equipment?
Yeah, we've come a long way from that.
We've come a long way. We haven't grown up much, but the streams have come a long way.
Yeah, we're just having some fun with it, and we're so glad that you tuned in today. The chat was alive and a lot of fun. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in, as this is just a precursor of what you can expect when the Barrie Colts face the Niagara Ice Dogs in the first round of the playoffs. We will have the playoff road broadcast for you here on the channel. We just have one more tune-up game to go, and that's going to be in Peterborough tomorrow night. So for Josh McCann and Gene Pereira, I'm Mike Poirier saying so long from Kingston, where it's a 4-2 final for the Kingston Frontenacs.